Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, all the way meaning Biafrans. I salute you all and I greet you all as you are coming into Biafra TV this evening for continuation of things we are doing on this hallowed platform. So once again, I welcome you, please. As I welcome you, please welcome one another by liking and sharing the program. That is how you can help this message or this preaching or this educating ourselves to go further. That is how you can help this platform by liking and sharing our program. As you do so, may Chukwu Okabiama, who lives in heaven, continue to bless you and keep you safe for what we are seeking for together. In some aspects, we might disagree to agree. That is the truth. You must not agree with me, neither do I agree with you, because we must have different opinion altogether, but the ability of us to condone one another and also take the necessary step is very important. So before I go further, I salute my president, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as we are doing hashtag Nigeria/Britain, the whole world, free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and give Biafran people their right of recognition as a new country. So please endeavor to remember to pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Ma Simon Ekpa. From my location, I send my humble and warming greetings to my president, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I send my warming greetings to my prime minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. And I send my greetings to my deputy prime minister, Dr. His Excellency, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. I salute your courage and I pray, may Elohim Chukwu Okabiama, who lives in heaven, protect you and guide you. The enemies will talk, but it shall never yield any fruits. They will never drag you down to their level. Rather, you will be continuously moving forward. My DPM. You will not die. You will not be in prison. You will be here with us on the final day of international recognition. And I also send my prayer to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, ị ga-adị keji hi na-echi adị agwụ agwụ. Enwe ihe ga-eme gị. Ndị iro ma na-agba ụja. Ha ma na-eme noise. Otu ahụ esi rapụrụ man of Bangladesh ga-esi wee rapụ gị with ihe ị na-achọ. Otu ahụ esi wee rapụ Nelson Mandela ga-esi wee rapụ gị. Ndị ma Simon Ekpa Njoko, the prime minister and the president. Otu a nke ga-esi wee rapụ gị. Otu esi wee rapụ Juma Kenya, heart of Kenya, ka ga-esi wee raa gị. Otu ahụ esi wee rapụ Maghandi ka ga-esi wee rapụ gị. Ihe akarị wee sị na ndụ gị na-eke, ndụ gị n'orie, ndụ gị na afọ, ndụ gị na nkwọ. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the president and the prime minister. Unu ga-ama mmiri manwụ. Ndụ unu ga-adị ka eji na-echi ọ dị agwụ agwụ. Ndụ unu ga-adị ka osisi nkwụ kwụ ọtọ, ihe na osisi nkwụ arọbụrụ na-atụ ngenge. Na-agbaghị otu iku si fresh osisi nkwụ ọkwụ ebe ọkwụ. Otu a ka ndụ unu ga-adị na-eke. Ọ ga-adị n'orie. Ọ ga-adị na afọ, ọ ga-adị na nkwọ. Onye sị na ọ bụ otu a ka ọ ga-esi ga-adị, ọ ga-etinye isi ya, tinye ndụ ya. Ma unu onwe na-adị ndụ. Wee duru anyị gaba. Ihe na ọ bụ unu bụ ndị ndu e nyere anyị. Ihi na ụmụ atụrụ na-anụ olu onye ọzụzụ atụrụ. Otu a ka anyị si anụ olu Maazị Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister. Otu a ka anyị si anụ olu our DP Ọzọ Ngozi Orabaeze, ochi na nwata nke mbụ. Otu a ka anyị si anụ olu overall Maazị Nnamdi Okwu Kanu, the president. Anyị wee sị Chukwuoka Abịama ya biko nụ mee ka ị nwere onwe gị. Ya mee ka nwere oge nwere bụrụ ụdị nke a Rahman nwere onwe ya, the president of Bangladesh. Ya bụrụ nwere onwe nke a Magandi nwere onwe ya. Ya bụrụ nwere onwe nke ahụ Juma Kenyatta nwere onwe ya. Ya bụrụ nwere onwe nke Nelson Mandela nwere onwe ya. Ụdị nwere onwe ka anyị nara n'ebe ị nọ wee na-asị na ọ ga-adịrị gị na mma na ị ga-eji ndụ gị pụta, ị ga-atụ ndụ gị n'ime ya. Ọ dịghị ihe ndị iro ga-eme. Ha si otu ụzọ bịa mana ha ga-agbasa okpukpa asaa na-enweghị nchịkọta. Otu a ka anyị si wee rịọ ya wee sị o Chukwuoka Abịama, anyị mara arịọ nụrụ arịrịọ anyị. Ọ bụrụ na anyị ama arịọ mere anyị n'oge o si wee dị anyị n'obi, ihi na ọ bụ na ọnọdụ ụmụ Biafra dị gị mma n'obi Chukwuoka Abịama, ọ dị ọkwa anyị mma n'obi ọzọ. Ọ bụ na ọ bụ n'ihi mmehie anyị na o ji wee dị otu anyị wee sị gị biko Chukwuoka Abịama, lee n'ụfụ ọbara niile, lee n'ihe arụ na-eme n'ala ụmụ Biafra, n'ala nke ị nyere anyị sị anyị kwesịrị ma nọ n'ime ya, wee na-asị gị ụzọ ọbụla anyị bịara yie azụ nke bi n'ime oke osimiri nke na-apụ ịga agọ mmiri. Anyị bụ ndị mmebe ezuru anyị arụ, ma ọ bụ na iwe gị ya n'ebe anyị nọ nwa ekwe n'ime anyị ga-eguzoro. Leenụ otu Ijipt si emesa ụmụ Israel, okwa otu a ka Naijiria na Britain so na-emesa anyị. Anyị wee sị gị bịa gbara anyị ọgụ na Eke, bịa lụrụ anyị agha n'Orie, bịa lụrụ anyị ya n'Afọ, bịa ka ịlụọ ya na Nkwọ, ka ịlụọ ya na Eke. Ewe na-asị gị Chukwuoka bụ onye pụrụ ime na ya kpọkọ gị n'abalị, wee na-asị gị biko na ihe ọ bụla ekweghị omume na ọ gị na-eme ya ka o kwe omume. N'ihi ya mere nji wee na-asị gị eze ndị eze, ụgwọ mgbe ike gwụrụ mmadụ nke ụwa, onye ude budo na-adịghị, onye ike mgbe ike gwụrụ, wee sị gị ka i were ike na ebube gị wee bịa, ka iwezipụ ndị mmụọ ozi gị, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, wee sị iwezipụ mmụọ ole bi n'ala Igbo, iwezipụ mmụọ Eke, ka iwezipụ mmụọ Orie, ka iwezipụ mmụọ Afọ, ka iwezipụ mmụọ Nkwọ, ka ha wee buoro anyị agha. Tinye na anyị onwe anyị kwado na anyị akwụrụgo, wee sị na anyị dị njikere ibu agha wee nwere onwe anyị, ka e wee kwụsị igbu ọchụ, ka e wee kwụsị nwụfu ọbara, ka e wee kwụsị egbu nwaanyị dị ime na nwa obu n'afọ. Wee sị ihe ile agbarụ na-eme eme ka ọ dị ugbo arụ akarịa na Chukwuoka Abịama ya kpọkuo na-asị gị biko mere anyị dịka o si bụrụ uche anyị kwanye, nye anyị Biafra dịka ị nyekwara anyị ya. Mee ka ọnụ ụzọ ọbụla nke gọọmenti United States of Biafra, nke nwaanyị dịka nwaanyị mụrụ ọkpara nwa gị bụ Jizọs Kraịst bụ Ngozi Orabaeze n'oge nke anyị, otu ahụ mere isi wee mụọ Jizọs, ka nwaanyị a si wee bịa wee mụghachi ụmụ Biafra ọzọ. Wee sị gị na afọ a dị ngozi, na afọ ya bụ ngozi, gozienụ ya, mee ka mba ụwa mechie ọnụ ha site n'ime ka mba ụwa organize ya Biafra as a foreign nation or as a sovereign state. Ihe ile aka anyị rịọ gị wee sị gị na nye enwe ike nke onwe anyị ji wee mee ya. Ọ bụ na ike gị si n'elu bịa nọnyeghara anyị n'ala anyị ọma nke omume. Isi na ọ bụ na iche ha obodo na ọ na-efu ka onye nche na-amụ anya, anyị wee sị gị n'ụbọchị nke taata Chukwuoka Abịama bilie. Anyị wee kpolie mmụọ niile nke n'ala Igbo, wee kpolie mmụọ iko nsọ, wee kpolie mmụọ wakawaka, wee kpolie mmụọ ndị niile e gburu n'okwu a, mmụọ mgbochi ọya nke Ifeanyi Ejiofor gburu. Anyị wee sị ka mmụọ niile a bilie wee chụba mba zoo, mebe ka ha ghara inwu enwu. Ha na-abịa na Biafra land ka ha daa n'ụzọ ma nwụọ, ha daa n'aka ebe ha daa n'aka nri, ha daa n'azụ, gosi ojibo na ọgị nwe ala Biafra. Wena ihe ile ka anyị rịọ na-asị gị biko anyị mara arịọ mere anyị, gwa na anyị ama arịọ, wepụ ndị ka ma mee nke bụ use nsọ gị site n'ime ka ọnụ ụzọ ọbụla nke gọọmenti nke United States of Biafra na-akwụ aka on behalf of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, the president, on behalf of the prime minister Maazị Simon Ekpa. Wee sị na onye ọbụla nke gbagoro okwu a nke ikwu na ọ ga-adịrị ya na mma na Eke, ọmadịrị afọmadị ya na Nkwọ, Uletlem bazu meka kansi baha no ba bazu oto chugo kabia ma meka Nigeria abu death sentence ebe anyị no ka mbo wa sanction no ha ka mbo wa revoke o their territorial integrity chugo kabia ma ihe a niile ka anyị yiro gị wee sị biko nrubu akwa no arịrị anyị ebe na akwa anyị arịọ na gị n'obi mgbawa anyị na-alụ obi emere mgbepi obi emere ntụ wee sịrị mere ihe niile na agwa Chukwu abịa ma ise. Yes, my good people of Biafra, I greet you all once again. Before going further, please, if you are here, shout ise or amen on the comment section. I'm from Jerry. You are the first person on the platform today. I salute you and I greet you from here. I see you, Emma. Good evening from here. I greet you and I salute you, my brother. I see Deborah. Good evening from here. I see Augustina. Good evening from here. I greet you all. This is a platform where we discuss affairs of the Biafran people, where we talk about how we are going to mount pressure on the international global stage for them to give us international recognition on the new country that was declared on November 29, 2024. The country that has a very effective government that are controlling. I am under the government of United States of Biafra as a new country. In the regards of this, we are seeking international global community to give us recognition as a sovereign state, to support us, to push away the amalgamation of 1914 that bring sentence of death to every indigenous people. That is what we are asking for them to do for us. That is what we are asking for them to help us to stop the killing. What's Nigerian government using Boko Haram to destroy every indigenous people on their ancestral land? Nigeria is where they kill 1,001 people in a year, in a month, in a day. Every day, killings are going on. When you talk as a citizen, they will arrest you, put you behind the bars, and you will not come to court. In Nigeria, where you don't have free will to express how you feel, or even free will to talk, simply mean the country is under military regime and under democracy, under autocracy, not democracy. Then we, as the Biafran people, stood up and made a declaration of United States of Biafra. We have made a declaration and said no. We denounce Nigeria and pick up United States of Biafra that was exist before the amalgamation of 1914. In due process, we are asking that we have met all the international criteria, we have met all the standard, we have met everything required in our hand. So on this, we have our permanent population, we have our divine territory, we have effective governments that are able to enter in agreement with every country in the world. And also, we want you to know that we have a lot of mineral resources. Why Britain, known as England or London right now, want us to buy? That's why they're killing us, because of our own mineral resources. That is why they bent onto the soil so they can be able to use our resources. That is why. But we have said no to that. That this is what belongs to us, that we need it, that we are going to keep it ourselves and our unborn children. That is what we're going to use to build our country. Make it one of the best countries you can come to on it and look around. We have whatever it takes to build this new country. So we are asking you on the Britain, we are asking America, we are asking every country in the world, both Europe and Asia, to look into our matter that we are presenting through our social media, through our government, that we, the Biafran people, Nigeria is killing us every day by their Boko Haram military. In Nigeria is the only country where they rehabilitated Boko Haram, who have killed over 1,000 people in a year and put him in the military. How could someone who has been killing people without the power of government, now when he has the power from the government, what he's going to do is to wipe everybody away? The intention of these people are to wipe the indigenous people away, so whenever Nigeria reintegrated them into the military, what you will see is what their forefather Britain asked them to do. In the war of Aga Idun or of Aga Ekumeku warrior, Britain was busy bombing our land without us stacking their own because of our oil. What is the intention of Britain in our land by attacking us? What is their intention by doing that? Because of just our mineral resources. That is why Britain, with so-called Frederick Lolugard, want to wipe a generation, want to wipe a human being out. When they cannot be able to accomplish their mission, they use the Fulanese to continue from where they stop. And today, that is what we are seeing today. The way they have been doing what? Killing the indigenous people. The way they have been massacring the indigenous people. All this is happening because of Britain could not be able to accomplish it after the fourth war of the Ekumeku warrior. After that, what happened? They go back to do as the Britain attacked the people of Biafra. After attacking us, and for that they cannot be able to conquer the threat they call Igbo or whatever they call it, or where they call Eastern region right now. After they have done this, what happens? They could not be able to suppress us down. They will continue by using the amalgamation. The amalgamation bring us death sentence to every indigenous tribe in Nigeria. Go to Benue, you will see the killing. Go to Jigawa, there is killing. Go to Katsina, there is killing. Every part of the land, the country is, every part of the amalgamation. The amalgamation on the name called One Nigeria means a death sentence to every indigenous person in his own ancestral land, in his own inherited land from the origin. That is why we are calling on the international global community to hear our cry, to see what is happening. And because of the level of the injustice, because of the level of inhuman treatment, because of the level of the autocracy, that when you speak, if I am in Nigeria speaking like this, I will be arrested. Where you don't have free will. Do you know why we don't have free will in Nigeria? Because the country was forced people to be together. Amalgamation means force. The force means Nigeria, One Nigeria. One Nigeria means death sentence to every indigenous people in that contraction called Nigeria. Yes, Uche, you can call number to add voice. Why not? Do you have my number? It's only that okay, let's go with the call. If you want to call me, my number is +9 7 3 60 51 337. That is the number. But you have to hold on until when I open the phone call. If you get the number, you put a message, yes, you got the number. We are going to have time. We have time this night to go long hours. So please just pick your popcorn and listen to what we have to do this night. We have things to share to ourselves because we are here to educate ourselves. Now, we want the world to see what we are passing through. Today, America is talking about what is going on in that contraction called Nigeria. How they are killing more over the Christians and the Muslim people, the Hausas. The Hausas did no longer have their home. In that death sentence called Nigeria, there is a two law. In the north, there is a Sharia law. But look at in his 419 amalgamation, Britain in their 419 amalgamation, in Britain in their death sentence to us, what happened? They tried to do what? Chase every indigenous people away in that amalgamation. The amalgamation is forcefully. Yes, Uche, I say you can come, but hold on for me to, after laying my preamble, then you can, the line will be open for call. Please. That is why, do you have my number? Uche, do you have my number? That is my question. So we are, I said, like I said, okay, thank you for your understanding. We are going to have a long hour this night, so you can call, and when you call, I will give you the time for you to free your mind. Please. So going forward, the people, the so-called Lolugad, who told us that his intention of forcing us together is to take our oil, our gold, our crude oil in our land. That is the only intention of amalgamating one Nigeria. Because before the 1914, we are living in the history of who we are. They told us that we are living a decent life. We are maintaining what? Democracy. That the Biafran people are Republicans in nature. From us, that the world will learn what they are calling today democracy and Republicans. That is who we are. In the ancient days, we are not killing anybody. We are not fighting with anybody in band or dispute of land, until Britain now comes in with the Satan called Frederick Lolugad. That is why, if you want to know what is going on, until you denounce Nigeria and go back to your old root, our old root is Biafra. And today we have rise up to say that our country is what? United States of Biafra. That is our what? Our country. Now, for every indigenous people who believe in Biafra, who fall into that territory called United States of Biafra, we have a 40 states that's made up of United States of Biafra. We also have a permanent population that are living in the ancestral land in this territory. Over 50 million self-referendum vote was conducted by our Prime Minister, Masamaba, and Dr. Ngozi Arabeze as Chief of Staff. Two of them conducted this self-referendum vote. So if the world are doubting, ask us for our self-referendum vote. We are going to provide the video. And we also said, if that one wasn't okay for you, we are open-minded to ask you to play mediator between us and Nigeria to supervise our second referendum. We are equally ready at all times. That is how you know people that are genuine, people that belongs to their land, and people that want to do the needful. That is why you see us on social media, raising our voice to let the world know that there is killing, there is injustice. Even the one that are meeting on our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who all Nigeria court has been discharged. But what happened? The so-called death sentence, who indirectly, the same way they killed Abiola, is the same way they're using today. Oh, they will tell you in time of Abiola, yes, there is a court procedure. We are going to court. Allow the court to take its place until they do to the man die in the prison. They have implemented that particular movement with our leader, with our president, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is why they refuse to release him. They already sentenced him. That is why for over 5 years, nothing. But look at how, no matter how Finland is corrupt, it takes them how many? 8 months to handle case of man cyber and say they sentence him for 3 years or 6 years. That is some content are workable also. Despite that the Staub is like another Frederick Lolugard. The same method of Frederick Lolugard is what Alexander Stubb implementing today to us. The president of Finland, Alexander Stubb, nothing difference between him and Frederick Lolugard, who forced people to stay together, who forcibly take our prime minister away, despite all his effort in Finland, despite being among Finland reserve military. He still went ahead to act like Frederick Lolugard. So if you see Alexander Stubb, see him if you really understand what Frederick Lolugard did to us in 1914 or before the 1914, because he was the one who sent military from Britain to come to our land to fight the war of the war between our people. He instigated this war, and he sent his men to come with a special weapon to wipe away the indigenous people. So what you guys did not start today. Their leader who started it is Frederick Lolugard. So Alexander Stubb of Finland learned his lesson from his evil master, Frederick Lolugard. That is what is going on. That's why you are seeing killings everywhere. They started it during the time of Ekumeku War, Ekumeku warriors. In Britain know what they passed through. And they found out that, oh, we did not finish them. Handing Nigeria over to Fulani Caliphate is what is going to finish them, because these people, their occupation of the Fulani bandits is what? Killing. Like the way occupation of Frederick Lolugard in our land is to kill the indigenous people. So when he come, he look at people like who people like that are acting like him. They were going to say that birds of the same feather are flocking together. Birds of the same feather is flocking together. That is Frederick Lolugard using Fulani, hand them over Nigeria, and force us to stay together. And today, when we say no, the same method of Frederick Lolugard is what Alexander Stubb implementing on our Prime Minister Simon Ebanjoko. When you talk, they wipe you away. When you talk, they will silence you. That is what Alexander Stubb represents Frederick Lolugard, because of our wealth, because of our natural resources, because of the oil, because of the crude oil coming out from our land. That is why I told you, nothing difference between the Finland president called Alexander Stubb and Frederick Lolugard. No difference. The evil people, that the greediness is all over their body. That is who they are. My people, we must continue because it's our country. Nobody will stop us, and nobody will take away from us, no matter what it takes. If you know what Ojukwu stand for and fight for 3 years, what of this 21st century? Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to, at all costs, to take your freedom? Are you ready to support United States of Biafra despite how hard it's going to be? Are you ready for that? If you are ready, show it through supporting the government in every fundraising in your own time. Support the government. The only hope to stop Alexander Stubb with the evil plan, the only hope to destroy the amalgamation of Frederick Lolugard in 1914, which the amalgamation brought, give birth to Nigeria. Giving birth to Nigeria, Nigeria give birth to sentence to death. Nigeria give birth to death sentence to every indigenous people, because Frederick Lolugard is not from part of Africa. Then the question is, what Frederick Lolugard doing in Africa to extent coming to our land to come and fight the indigenous people? Start from where they call Asaba, which happened to be Ahaba, and go to any other place he fought our people for. After he fought us for numerous years, immediately he's been able to use our people to conquer the warriors of Ekumeku. Then the war goes on until 1913. Between 1913 December ending, he destroyed the strength. He weakened the Ekumeku warriors, and the amalgamation now comes in. The question is, what is Frederick Olugari doing in Africa? Then coming down to Eastern region, what is he doing if not to occupy our land and kill us? When they tried, they know all their strength and what they passed through. They could not be able to suppress us. He handed over to the Fulanese, to the Caliphate. Despite handing over to the Caliphate, he knew that it is only people who will continue from where Britain stopped. From where Britain stopped from 1914 till today, what are you seeing? Is it not killing, intimidation, inhuman rights, inhuman abuses, autocracy? Is it not what we are seeing? That is why we told you the first thing we do is to denounce Britain amalgamation, then denounce Nigeria. You find yourself be a life or a good, in fact, living a life of a human being. Uche, I greet you, good evening. I see our sister Juliet, good evening from here. I see John, good evening from here. Minor sake, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Please, we are going into what brings me here this evening. What you see on my headline. Protest, the most powerful weapon to get international pressure for international recognition for a new country. Protest. We will see how people has used it to get to trigger international pressure, and how they will be able to use it to do what? To get international recognition. It happens like people like Bangladesh. It happens like people like Kenya. It happens like people like India. It happens to people like Namibia. It happens to people like Eritrea. There is many countries that use the international pressure coming from protests and get their recognition under international law or under international community. We want to present you so you will know that the protest is important. When you come here, I ask you to do hashtag Nigeria/Britain, Freeman Nnamdi Kanu, the president of United States of Biafra. You will refuse to do that. Then, when I ask you to do hashtag Finland/Nigeria, Freeman Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of United States of Biafra, as the code on this platform. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? My people, the time we are into is time to face the reality, to look at this global community of UN, international community, and face them with their law. Make it open to every common man. Make it open to every common man. Chidubami, good evening from here. Nduku, good evening from here. Ndumpo, good evening from here. I greet you all. So that is why we're here this evening. So please hold on as we go into this program this evening. It is very imperative for you to listen so you will understand the pressure that comes from what? Protest. And why protest is very, very important. Because of our time, we are going to take it one after the other this evening. I want you to understand that our government also, or we might also be asking our government to call for international protests that will trigger international pressure for recognition of United of Biafra for also releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Ogonaya, good evening from here. I greet you. You're welcome. These are the areas we can help the government by making it openly so they can also know that this is very important. Because we might be thinking that is this way. It might be the other way around. That is why no brain is a waste at this time that we're into. And all are what Obatobie called multiple dimension. Remember that it's only Obatobie ever used multiple dimension. DOS doesn't know what is called multiple dimension. IPOB World Nigeria don't know what is called multiple dimension. Protest is part of multiple dimension. And it is the most powerful way for the international global community to know that something is going on. The same way it is important also for our election that is coming on in Biafra land. Is the same way that the protest is important also. Protest. Very powerful instrument for a new country without recognition. Said what? Very powerful weapon for a country like us that are seeking for international recognition. And also, it's also to establish there is people that are in the country that was declared officially. Protest is an eyesore. Protest is Iha Banaka. When you have wash in your hand, you don't need mirror to look at wash because your eyes becomes the mirror. And that is the highest mirror. Your eyes looking at your hand and the clock you put on your watch you put on your hand. That is how protest it is. It is very important, my people. We should not shy away. It doesn't matter who is giving the information, but what matters is the weight of the information. These are the areas I want to look into. So, we are going to listen. After listening, we will do our analysis. Then we'll have a phone call to come in before we go into another one. That's why I told you, bring your biscuits or some people around you, sit down, let us discuss. Let us see areas, other countries, because now, the same, go and check history of Kenya when they fight for their freedom from the hand of Britain direct. Go and check when Bangladesh fought their freedom from the hands of Pakistan, what they did. Go and check also what Namibia people did. Go and check what Eritrea did before they get their independence from Ethiopia. Also check what South Sudan did for them to be where they are today. All these things are when you shake. That's when you slow people. If you look at what Obatobie is doing, when I've been searching and be seeing, I see that this man has gone into this many countries and find out what works for them. He will pick some and leave some. I didn't say we should take all of them, but if there is one that is very effective or as an eyesore that can also help us, let us do it. During the protest, we are not spending money on that. So, please, my people, let us go into this together. So we may also bring something new into what we are doing and how we can accomplish the mission. Everything must go on in between. I thank you, Ogonanya Chiro, for the code of this platform that you just did without asking you. Thank you so much. Hashtag Nigeria and Finland free Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of United States of Biafran government. Thank you so much for that. That is the code on this platform. Any hashtag is going viral. When a white man comes in and see hash, he will slow down to read. That is why I'm telling you. If you have been following me, you will understand when we are on this hashtag, the impact of hashtag in our comment section, in all we do. Let us continue. Remember, my headline is protest, the most powerful weapon to get international pressure for international recognition for a new country happen to be United States of what? Biafra. Listen.
Force the issue onto the global agenda and create a moral imperative for foreign states to act. Media and visibility. Protests, marches, and civil disobedience are highly photogenic and
Sorry,
newsworthy.
it's time from I will revise it back. Sorry.
Your statement is essentially pointing out
Okay, listen to this.
Protests are one of the most powerful non-military tools an unrecognized country can use to gain international recognition by generating widespread visibility and moral pressure. This process is generally known as civil resistance in the context of self-determination struggles. Here is how protests help an unrecognized entity gain statehood. 1. Establishing de facto statehood and control. Mass protests, especially forms of organized civil disobedience, demonstrate that the unrecognized state has a functioning society and an effective, unifying administration that is in control of its population, even if it lacks formal government structures. Proof of a population and will. Large, sustained, and unified protests are a clear, visible manifestation of the population's collective political will to be independent. International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control, and mass movements show that the new entity's administration can mobilize and control its people for a shared political goal. Parallel institutions. Successful civil resistance often involves creating parallel institutions, schools, courts, tax systems, etc. Widespread public compliance with these protest-led institutions, rather than the parent states, is a strong argument that the new entity meets the effective government criterion for statehood. 2. Mobilizing international pressure. Protests force the issue onto the global agenda and create a moral imperative for foreign states to act. Media and visibility. Protests, marches, and civil disobedience are highly photogenic and newsworthy. They attract international media, giving the unrecognized state's leadership and cause a platform to bypass the parent state's information blockade. Human rights narrative. If the parent state represses the peaceful protests with violence, the movement shifts the narrative from a political dispute to a human rights crisis. This makes it morally easier for democratic nations to recognize the new state as a sanction against the abusive parent state, as seen in some historical decolonization movements. Lobbying global institutions. The visibility and moral legitimacy gained in the streets provide ammunition for the unrecognized states' representatives to lobby the UN, the EU, and individual foreign ministries, turning sympathetic public opinion into official diplomatic action or economic aid. 3. Demonstrating nonviolence and stability. While violence tends to be more volatile and less predictable, nonviolent civil resistance is statistically more effective than armed struggle at achieving political goals and is more appealing to the international community. Higher legitimacy. Nonviolent movements are seen as more legitimate and democratic in the eyes of Western and international organizations, which are the primary bodies that grant formal recognition. Lower risk of instability. By pursuing a nonviolent path, the movement signals that the new state will be a stable and reliable member of the international community, making other nations more willing to recognize and establish political and economic relations with it.
I hope, listen, I will play it again before we start the way we normally analyze our program. Listen again.
Protests are one of the most powerful non-military tools an unrecognized country can use to gain international recognition by generating widespread visibility and moral pressure. This process is generally known as civil resistance in the context of self-determination struggles. Here is how protests help an unrecognized entity gain statehood. 1. Establishing de facto statehood and control. Mass protests, especially forms of organized civil disobedience, demonstrate that the unrecognized state has a functioning society and an effective, unifying administration that is in control of its population, even if it lacks formal government structures. Proof of a population and will. Large, sustained, and unified protests are a clear, visible manifestation of the population's collective political will to be independent. International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control, and mass movements show that the new entity's administration can mobilize and control its people for a shared political goal. Parallel institutions. Successful civil resistance often involves creating parallel institutions, schools, courts, tax systems, etc. Widespread public compliance with these protest-led institutions, rather than the parent states, is a strong argument that the new entity meets the effective government criterion for statehood. 2. Mobilizing international pressure. Protests force the issue onto the global agenda and create a moral imperative for foreign states to act. Media and visibility. Protests, marches, and civil disobedience are highly photogenic and newsworthy. They attract international media, giving the unrecognized state's leadership and cause a platform to bypass the parent state's information blockade. Human rights narrative. If the parent state represses the peaceful protests with violence, the movement shifts the narrative from a political dispute to a human rights crisis. This makes it morally easier for democratic nations to recognize the new state as a sanction against the abusive parent state, as seen in some historical decolonization movements. Lobbying global institutions. The visibility and moral legitimacy gained in the streets provide ammunition for the unrecognized states' representatives to lobby the UN, the EU, and individual foreign ministries, turning sympathetic public opinion into official diplomatic action or economic aid. 3. Demonstrating non-violence and stability. While violence tends to be more volatile and less predictable, non-violent civil resistance is statistically more effective than armed struggle at achieving political goals and is more appealing to the international community. Higher legitimacy. Non-violent movements are seen as more legitimate and democratic in the eyes of Western and international organizations, which are the primary bodies that grant formal recognition. Lower risk of instability. By pursuing a non-violent path, the movement signals that the new state will be a stable and reliable member of the international community, making other nations more willing to recognize and establish political and economic relations with it.
Yes. I hope you listened to it. I hope you paid attention. When we said multiple dimension, this is it. And the way it is right now, the Biafran people, we are not ready to go to violence anymore. If you can't go to violence to be using gun and bullets in Biafra land to chase Nigeria away, there is things you will do that is an eyesore that draws the attention. One of it is protest. It is, they said, is one of the most powerful. Do you know what they say? That something is the most powerful weapon for you to get international recognition. Yes, on this junction, we will be playing and be stopping and also explaining. You are free to call on my number anytime you want to call, on number plus 973360513337. That is number to call. Now we move.
Protests are one of the most powerful non-military tools an unrecognized country can use to gain international recognition by generating widespread visibility and moral pressure.
Let's hold it here. Protests are one of the most powerful non-military tools an unrecognized country like United States of Biafra can use to gain international recognition by generating widespread visibility and moral pressure. Protest is one of the most powerful, and they see it as, well, it's not about military. They see it as one of the most peaceful, one of the most, the widespread visibility that people of an unrecognized country like my own United States of Biafra. Now, they are telling us that it's one of the most not finished. Then if you ask, where are these most again? You will hear armed struggle. Now that we have declared it, then the difference between armed struggle and peaceful protest that draws international community is that the peaceful protest draws attention, proving that the new country have already practiced democracy, Republicans. That is why they are not into gun and bullets and struggle. One of the most powerful non-military tool for an unrecognized under international community, like my own country, United States of Biafra, is one of them is what? For us to gain our international recognition, that protest is one of the most powerful tools in the name of the new country. On the placards, you will be seeing hashtag free united, hashtag recognize United States of Biafra, hashtag recognize the world powers, or you can call any name, EU, UN, whatever they want to call them. Call the America, call Britain, tag any of the countries on that flag and carry it up. They will see hashtag free, hashtag recognize United States of Biafra. It draws attention without wasting time. And that one is the one that the international global community valued more than armed struggle. They valued peaceful protest more than armed struggle. Are you following? That is why they told us that it's one of the most powerful tools to gain an international recognition for United States of Biafra. You might be against me with your own different opinion. It's your opinion, it's welcome. This is all our suggestion to our government, to look into it. If calling this protest is not in Nigeria, no, because calling it in Nigeria means death sentence to those that are going to come out. Calling it in abroad, in the any country where we are, by the authority, by letter heading of United States of Biafra, explaining why they are doing the protest to the authority of the countries where we are living. The protest in the name of a country is quite different from the name of the individual, the way they address it. By tomorrow morning, we are going to treat protests in the with name of United States of Biafra, and the protest I, Real Biafra TV, is just doing on my own. Hope you are getting it. Because you can use the name of United States of Biafra for protest without them authorize you to do that. That is also how you don't use some logos of the government, because you are not a member of the government, and the government is for the new country, for the people. I hope you are following. Remember, I told you that my line is open in case if you want to contribute something before that will escape in your mind. Call and contribute is in your mind. You are free to call me to talk anything you want. Please. Let's continue.
This process is generally known as civil resistance in the context of self-determination struggles.
This process is generally known as civil resistance in the context of self-determination struggle. What is that? Protest. One of the most powerful. Protest. One of the most powerful. That is an eyesore. It's an open field, like when players are playing football, you watch them and you can see how everybody is participating on that match. When people are doing rally for protest of politics, you can also see how it goes. The protests prove how many population and the crowd of numbers of people who are supporting you, despite even if they are not using their full mind. That is what protests can do. Do you know that the protests that happened in Finland after our declaration in the name of United States of Biafra is one of the key criteria that Finland could not be able to rendition Mas Simon Ekpa in Nigeria after all the bribe? because that one is an eyesore. So if they try it, the international global community is going to sanction Finland. And Finland don't want them to be sanctioned. Finland don't want them to be rebuked their territorial integrity they fought for. That over 70 million people died in Finland before they can be able to get this Finland Alexander Stubb is messing up today. Let's continue. They told you in the struggle of self-determination that protest is the one of the most powerful tool people of the new country was never recognized. The unrecognized new country. The protest is one of the most important key we can use to get international recognition. I don't know whether you really understand this international recognition, the modus of the operandus and the existing protocol. When you are not working towards that existing protocol openly, they will remove your eyes from where you are. But when your eyes is there, when you are doing what triggers them, they will not come. And moreover, that's one that you are doing, you tag them on that protest. That the children, old mama, everybody will see it. Those that their sons and daughters are working in big office that have resigned in Mrs. and said, no, my son, when you go, talk about this. It is very important. This is how everything works. The one that you thought that will work most perfectly for you might not be the one that's going to work. That is why you got to implement the multiple dimension of Obato Obie. Obato Obie is into armed struggle, remember. He's into what? Civil disobedience. He's into self-referendum votes. He's into writing letters, sending to every part of the world, and making friends. This is one of the most important areas. And these are the important areas you have to look at and know what to do. So far, the world did not prohibit protests after a declaration of a new country. Rather, it gives a new country a way, meaning proving that they are reliable. There is a government who is controlling the people when that population comes out to vote, comes out to protest in the foreign country where we reside.
Here is how protests help an unrecognized entity gain statehood.
Here is how protests helped unrecognized self-determination struggle to get international recognition. Look at here. Here is how protests help an unrecognized under international communities, how it can help us to get our words, our new country, and be in our new country. When we apply every measure, it did not work and it's only remain armed struggle. We have no option to go, but we must first implement all this in the first place. Try all of them in between and see how they're gonna work for the Biafran people, because we are not going to die in silence anymore. We must raise our voice. We must do the things that other countries has been. That's why I told you there is no shortcut on the level where we are. I said what? There is no shortcut. There is no other way. We must pass that road, that struggle, that procedure that every other country who we are wearing the same shoe they have worn in the past. We must do what? Pass that way. If it means passing that way is protest, why can't we? As the Biafran people. Let us continue. Remember, all the recognized entities, that is a new state that are not recognized, how protests can help them to get international recognition. Listen to this. Network. Sorry, I have a very bad network. My network is bad.
Structures. Proof of a population and
Please,
will.
1 minute.
Large, sustained, and unified protest.
1 minute. Okay. It says something is going on. We have a phone call. We're gonna understand this call back.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yes, Wanda, good evening. You are welcome to the platform.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir. How is it? How has been the
We thank you, God, as far we are alive. We thank
since
you,
this week?
God.
Okay, it has been so hectic for me,
Yeah, I can
but I
see.
thank God that we are scaling through.
Yes, so.
We are scaling through. We are scaling through. It is now that I found out that to have freedom is not a my case. You know, when we start talking about freedom, it looks as if it's something that you will just go to your backyard and pick and enter your house.
Yes.
There are so many forces that will be against you that don't want you to be free. Both spiritual forces, both physical forces, they will be there.
Network. Sorry, her network is somehow down. I don't know if it's from her or from me. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Let me call her back. Her network hang. I don't know whether is it from her or from my own side. Let's recover because she never finished. This is from her. Her network is very bad. Okay, we'll move on when she called. Then we're gonna pick the call back. But for now, we got to move on, my people. We got to go back to where we before she called. So let us continue. Why freedom is not what we think? That's why I said there is things that was meant us. Yes. And there are things that was not meant for use and play.
The population's collective political will to be independent.
Hey, sorry. Let me read. We have established de facto stakehold and control. Protest is also proof that the new government has control over its population, people, and the under the population and the states, like all over 40 states of Biafra. Mass protests. They said what? Mass protests, especially from form of organized civil disobedience. Mass protests, especially form of organized civil disobedience, demonstrating that the unrecognized state has a functioning society and an effective uniform administration that is in control of its population, even if it lacks formally government structure. But we have government structure on our own case. They said even though na nye we have government structure, people are putting na our name is, the name of our new country is United States of Biafra. We need recognition. Only that name of a new country triggers international recognition. I said what? Only that also triggers international recognition for the new country. I hope you are listening, because when you see the other way around, it's not that way. Like I always have my own, the way I see others do their own. When you are in school, Why are you reading past? My sister, please. When you are in school, why are you reading past exams paper of your seniors? Why? Why are you reading past the past exam? Or why are you reading the past notebook of your seniors? Why are you doing that? If you know why you are reading, why you are doing that, then you will know why looking how other countries get their independence work what for them. It's not that everything that work for them work for us, but there is some. And that some that are going to work for us, we have to implement them. We also have to implement those ones that work for them. So all those ones can be able to work for us. Please remember when you come, like and share the program. Also subscribe on this page, Real Biafra TV. Also, remember that our line is open for you to call at any time you want. If you call, I didn't notice it, then put it in the comment section, then I'll call you back. Please, my people. I want you to understand the importance of having a new country. It's not a child's play. It's not a child's play. So, for what? Mass protests, especially help a new unrecognized under international, that a new country, to get what? International recognition. They call it here mass protests. We can also, because of the lawless country called Nigeria, because of the intimidation country called Nigeria. Yes. Sorry, my people, have a call. She will call back. Network. Yes, you are welcome. Go on, my sister.
Okay, sorry. Phone.
Oh, sorry.
So we are counting.
All right.
Okay. So with what I am saying, now I notice that to get the freedom is not eating bread and butter. There are so many things. And God is always involved in it.
Yeah.
Because God always wants the freedom of his people. When I see the protests that happened was it on Monday?
Yeah, on 20th.
I was so delighted. Yes, on 20th, I was so delighted. I never expected the kind of crowd that I saw. In fact, it's still the talk of town. I never expected, even when they were being shot, tear gas, gone, people persisted. You will see different sets, Barrow, their own set. You will see Okada, their own set. You will see those that are riding keke, that so they follow line. In fact, our president, God have honored him. You know, a Bible
Yes, sir.
the federal government thought that they are doing him. They don't know the more they are trying to make him uncommon, that is the more God is trying to make him common and make him prosper and announce him in everything that surrounds him. Our leader will be released. Our president, God have started his work, and I know he will finish it. There is nothing the saboteurs or devil can do about it. Thank you for the teachings, all the encouragement. At least this your teaching has consoled so many of us. It has consoled so many of us. I want to say, God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Keep up the good work. And the good work will pay. it will pay. It will pay. And also to use this medium to encourage our government, we know that they are trying, they are doing
Everything,
wonderfully well, but
yes.
we encourage them that God will still strengthen them and they will continue to do more. Then for the saboteurs, I want to say that they should continue. Any day they stop, that will be their grave. That will be their grave. They should continue. They should continue with what they are doing. They think that they are doing somebody. They are digging their grave. Because you cannot tell me that people that are not Igbo, we carry this thing on the head. And we that call ourselves Igbo will be the one that will be destroying what people are helping us to do. They think that they are doing the government. They are not doing the government. I'm so happy that our government, they are focused. They are they don't even care if they exist. And that is how it's supposed to be. At the end of the day, they are the one that will be shamed. And God will be taking us high, high, high. And also the fundraising, God is increasing it. God is increasing it. Men and women that mattered have already joined and they have killed him. No matter the amount of propaganda, no matter the amount of things they said, at the end, they are the one that will be dead. Like the list that came up, the list of the commanders, is what I saw them ranting their mouth. There is nothing that our DPN did that they will, even if something good, they will find something bad about it. And that is how God will be finding something bad about them. And God will continue to increase our government, continue to protect our DPM and all the people in the government and the sincere medias. God will continue to protect them. No evil shall befall them.
You see?
So I want to encourage you, sir. God bless you. Thank you for this teaching. That you have made us to know that protest is the key. And I know our government is taking care of everything. They will start. And if they are not doing it, they will start it. God will strengthen them and give them the grace and the knowledge to know what to do and do it at the right time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for your
God bless
contribution.
you.
You're always welcome. Thank you for your wonderful and very, very encouraging submission to Biafran people or to all of us. Thank you so much. May Elohim might continue to protect you and keep you until we get to the head of what we are doing. Very soon, it's going to end. We are at the end of it. So it's only a matter of putting a piece of
Yeah,
sometimes. And the more we go, the more it
yeah,
becomes tough. The more it becomes tough is the meaning of where we are going. We have denounced the
yes,
amalgamation that brought
yes,
Nigeria, which Nigeria means death sentence to indigenous people. We have denounced that. That is why we are
yeah.
alive today. So thank you so much for your wonderful submission. We move. No surrender,
And to say
no
that
retreat.
all these teachings are opening Nigerian eyes. Everybody has come to understand what our president was shouting, teaching, and
It's
everything.
happening.
Everybody.
Yes. Yes.
It's happening. God is opening everybody. It is Nigerians that will now take their hands to take their destiny by themselves. And it's looming. Very soon it will happen. We will just be by the corner watching them. They will take the bull by the horn.
Exactly.
So I want us to continue reading, continue speaking to us. It's entering, we are hearing, and God is helping us for it to sink. And God will give us the grace to take the bone by the horn, and everything will end. It has ended already.
Yes.
Since we survived since 5 years till date, we will continue to. And our president, Mazi, survived it. Even our prime minister survived it. Since then, that shows that there is a victory at the end of the tunnel.
Now, so
Thank you.
thank you so much for coming. You are so wonderful. Thank you so much
Thank
for your opinion. Thank you so much. Thank you. We move. Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Yes, my people, the people of United States of Biafra, everything that see there is nothing good becomes easy. If your enemies are not talking about what we are doing, if what you are doing is not giving your enemies news to talk, you are not doing important thing. You are not relevant. But if what you are doing is destroying the work of your enemies and also making them to talk, give yourself a round of applause because you are doing the right. That's why they come against you. How many people do you see come and talk about criminals? How many do you talk about criminals? In a small time, that thing fell away. No name that will come today, they will not talk. Because they thought they will to deceive you. Many of them, sorry, it's not that I deviated, but I will be back. Many of them in country where they are today, they are not answering their real name. And that is how they think that the ones that answer such a name, he is from ours. Even if it is, we need their combination right now. We need combination of sorry, every indigenous person in that contraction, in that death sentence. We need combination. We need every indigenous person to rise up, to fight, to put their voice, to support us, to liberate them, because it's only we, the Biafran people, will liberate entire ethnic group that want to be free in that death sentence called One Nigeria. In that death sentence called what? One Nigeria. One Nigeria means death sentence to the indigenous people, because the indigenous people is the one dying. They are the one inside prison. They made law of one Nigeria only for the indigenous people, and their law is against the indigenous people. Why their law favors their banditry, their Boko Haram, the insurgency that they brought in. That's why you can see them dining and whining with them. It doesn't matter what Sanai Akpara was on social media. For me, the international global community sees him as a rebel against a new country that was officially declared. You followed me here when I did that. When a new country is being declared and some group of people, whether civilians or military, refuse to submit their loyalty under the new country government, that all are rebel. Every country has rebel. And our own is more valid than every other country because of over long time agitation, over long time struggle. I have presented to you some time ago the danger. That is what we're facing today. So let us go back where we are, my people. Protest is mass protest, especially from form of organized civil disobedience. Obatobia was using sit at home. Even that Biafran government can also call for sit at home in the name that we are seeking for international recognition. You want it. So far, calling protests in Nigeria means killing. You know, we also call protests in Nigeria by what? This protest of sitting at home that Obatobia introduced to us to serve the indigenous people. Despite doing that, Nigeria will bring their armor tanker, start bombing houses of people and the market. Because they said, oh, we don't want market today because of our new country. How important it is for us. Are you following? That is why I want you to understand everything. Protest, how important the protest it is, and also what that protest is improving, or what that protest is attaching on a big stage of the new government, how the new government is effective controlling their people. That is also what the protest brings to the government of a new country. Listen, proof of a population and the will of the new government. That protest is also proving that the new government has his will of his people with a large with this mass population that are protesting in abroad. Talk less of sit at home in the homeland. Are you following? The government can call sit at home on Sunday in the homeland. They can call it also in abroad on weekends. Why? It's also proving that the government is effective, that they are in control of their population, despite that even though that their border is in dispute. This is how they explain it to you and I. Proof, it also proves that the government has a popular population. It also proves that the government has a massive population, and that massive population shows that the people give them the will of declaration and also the protest and also having a government that is working for them. It's also proving that the people are taking instruction from the government. This is what protest can bring. That's why they told you that it's one of the most powerful tools to get international recognition by triggering putting international global stage on pressure. How? Through protests. In America, in this country where I am, in UK, they call it England, they call it London, in Germany, in Finland, in all over the world. It triggers international pressure. That is one of the most important things. When you look at such a thing, it's not important to you to achieve it, for you to use it, to gain the international pressure for us to have our new country. That is what they're asking us. That is what they ask us to implement and do it. Let's continue.
International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control, and mass movements show that the new entity's administration can mobilize and control its people for a shared political goal. Parallel institutions. Successful civil resistance often involves creating parallel institutions, schools, courts, tax systems, etc. Widespread public compliance with these protest-led institutions, rather than the parent states, is a strong argument that the new entity meets the effective government criterion for statehood.
Do you hear it? Is a strong argument for United States of Biafra with that population that come out for protests, and also the sit at home in the homeland that has already been working for us. They will to argue that the new entity met the effective government criteria for a new country. Just that is it. So you can see the gain of the protest and the benefit of the protest. If something can have such value, does it know what? Try it and see how it works. Does it know what it to handle it? In what it so far it can bring to this particular level of leverage of powerful government in control of its citizens and the borders or the territory of the new country. And the unjustified protests are a clear, visible manufacturing of the population collective political will to be independent. Protests. Now, protests can make us to become an independent country. They call it what? Political will that can make a country a new country to become manufacturing of the population is a collective political will to be independent. Protest. What protest can give you? What protest can give a new country? What protest can bring? What protest represent? What protest can make us to get our independent or international recognition? Is protest is one of the most powerful tools to get what we are looking for. It's one of it. And among all the things it asks us to do, this is the one that international global community sees as one of the most peaceful, to prove that the new government is peaceful and also they are effective of controlling their territory, that withdraws international pity, leads to international recognition. This is the truth that is maybe bitter to you. I am not ordering the government, but I am bringing my own, I'm expressing my own will as one of person who believe in United States of Biafra government. Is will of my expression, like one man a protest. You may call it that. I am agitating to government, my own government, to know that there's such a thing they can, not even important if they can implement it. They can also do that. It's my own way to tell them that this is important too. Even if they refuse to do it, I am not going to be against the government because I have already sent message out. The government needs informations to get it right. The government needs the opinion of their citizens. In UK or in London, they don't have standby law in certain things. Once their citizens protest and demand this is what they want, they implement that. They implement what is coming out from their citizens. So what I'm doing is I'm exercising my right. I am exercising my right. Do not misunderstand me. It's my right. It's my opinion. It's my expression. Even though you may do not like it. But the fact remains that what am I reading? What am I telling you? Is it truth? Is it what other country has done? Yes. Kenya did it in their own time. It works for them. Namibia from South Africa did it. It works for them. Eritrea did it against Ethiopia. It works for them. Bangladesh did it against Pakistan. It worked for them. India did it against Britain. It works for them. America, did it against Britain also. France helped them. It works. The only one that is not working is calling it in the homeland. But we can only call it by sitting at home to continue. Even if it happens to be on Sunday. I can also use that sit at home that day. Then Monday is what it is. That you know very well. Soludo was bragging how we have destroyed sit at home. The peaceful disobedience that we are doing. He was bragging how he has destroyed it. True. So everything that is why we must stand on the side of the multiple dimension, where everything in between work for one goal of now. The only one goal we are seeking for now is what? Particularly international recognition. That is the one goal that we are seeking for. Nothing more than that. This is one goal that you and I are seeking for. If it's not for that, what again are you seeking for? If not for international recognition, what are you looking for? For you to be a new country fully. The only one goal we have pursued one goal of declaration. It has been done and dusted. The only goal we are looking for now for the international community to recognize us, and us also join force and force Nigeria to recognize us. Because when India and the British intervened in the issue of Pakistan, they forced Pakistan to recognize Bangladesh. Mass protest was going on all over. If you know how many people that they died on that day that Bangladesh was declared their independence, you will run. That is why freedom not akwalo. Freedom is biting. Freedom is share. So nothing Nigeria you don't work. I am telling you because of how the spirit movement will tell you and what the spirit give me to give to you. So for us to know, if you know the government refuses to do it, I want to know this is the right. Also, it's one of the things that we can implement in our movement now that we are scheme for international recognition. That is carrying everything along, which is simply mean multiple dimension. Let us continue. International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control. The protests also prove that the government is effective control over its citizens. Are you hearing it here? International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control, and the mass movement protests shows that the new country administration can mobilize and control its people for a shared political goal. What is the goal? International recognition. Are you not hearing it? International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control through protests. And the mass movement of the protests shows that the new government administrative can mobilize and control its people. Protest. If Showore can protest and call, what of the one that we call government we call in abroad? In just one day, tell all of us in abroad, Sundays or Saturdays, we choose it. That is the same day we choose to do in abroad. The government also implements in the homeland also. So as the video is going viral all over the countries and abroad, the video also comes from the homeland also. That is what we call effective control of the citizens of the new country. That it is what they call effective control. Mobilize and control its people. It proves that the government is in charge, that he has the will of his people.
2. Mobilizing international...
Sorry, I never explained this to you. Pillar instructions. Successfully civil resistance often involve creating a parallel institution, schools, courts, tasks, system, and etc. The government is in control. In our schools, in our homeland, when you go there, let their flag of Biafra everywhere. Even let's paint some of it with Biafra name. Let's paint some of it with the United States of Biafra color, or write it all over the wall in all the schools in the homeland. It's also proving something. It's also part of protest. That in the core protest has many ways it works. Even if we did not implement all, maybe we implement only 2. In the name of protest in abroad, in the name of civil disobedience in the homeland. These are the ways, these are criteria that they are looking for our hand for us to get our international recognition. I hope you are listening. It's very important. It is very sacrosanct that this is part of the things that work. The international law are telling you that this is what is working. I'm not the one saying it. International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control, and the mass movement shows that the new country administration can mobilize and control its people for a political goal. What is the political goal? Now, the political goal happening in Nigeria is to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, free him. That is the political goal happening in Nigeria. That is why some lawyers are start on the international communities that start talking, want to intervene, because they see that there is no justice in Nigeria courts. Now they want to intervene because of what this one-day protest of Mazi Sowore did, that we did not call. He called it. If he can call, we can also do that in the name of our government, in the name of our new country, for the world to know that, oh, it doesn't end here. It doesn't end only on paper, because they said the control of the permanent population means that the government is not only on paper. Could you imagine that? It's not that the government is not only on S handle. The government is everywhere. That is multiple dimension. You may not, you might disagree with me, but look at the law now. Am I not the one saying it? Am I the one? Look at what I'm doing here. Look at it here. Look at it here. I am not making it up. It's not my own words I'm saying. Now, that's private institution by University of Biafra. That is why I told you, in school, they can paint school overnight. Biafran color. It's part of protest, proving something to the world. They can raise flag. Everything is in between. All these things are multiple dimensions to got their attention, to put pressure on the international global stage. Number 2, protests mobilizing international pressure. That protests mobilize international. Now we are looking for international. We are looking for you and organizers. We are looking for many countries. That is what they call international pressure. Many countries. When we continue protests in their country, they might decide to what is going on. Why are people always on protest? Why are people always here? All those things triggers what? Mobilization of international pressure is very important for a new country. Let's continue. Listen.
Pressure. Protests force the issue onto the global agenda and create a moral imperative for foreign states to act.
Listen. Protests force the issue ultimately the global agenda. Protest is a global agenda. And it creates a moral implementing for foreign state to act. That if our protests will make all these foreign country, I think they can say they are going to act. The protests can make them to, what are they going to act? For them to pay attention to what we want and also go for the international recognition. That's why I told you that when we are using multiple dimensions, we don't know exactly one which will work for us. In this protest, you will hear something also. Is protest force the issue onto the global agenda? That the protest is a global agenda. That the protest is disturbing the international community. So they will like to act. What are they going to act? What are people looking for? Okay, fine. Take it from here. We are giving it to you. Protest is also can do that. It's not only on the pen and paper. We have get what it takes to do that also. Despite having our documents, the document is working silently on the table. But the protest on ISO is working in social media. The documents that we send to many countries, are they in social media? They are not. But we have sent them. But when we do the protest, it triggers those people that we give that document that we are ready. They will also take us serious. I said what? They will also take us serious and know that we are serious in what we are bargaining for in the business of our new country. These are the areas that you will be thinking. We'll be looking at it all the way around. So are you telling us the job at OBA is here today? He's not going to be maybe calling for protests, sit at home now that we are a new country. It's now he could have implement more. It's time to implement more. Now we have official documents in our hand as a new country, because everything that we are doing is to do what will trigger the international pressure to look at us. It's part of the things that say that is why some people say we are not ready. And within ourselves, we know that we are ready. We know what? That we are ready everly to get to become a new country. Protest, force that draws attention of the global agenda. Protest. Hear it and hear it clearly.
Media and visibility. Protests, march.
Media and the visibility. Media. Media. Visibility. The media name can also attract one congressman, can also attract one government body that's passed on your YouTube. Pay a little bit attention, and if you see your document, you see all those hashtag, he pays attention a little bit. Then he will also know why you are doing what you are doing. This is truth. This is the pure truth. I am not saying. You heard it clearly. Protests, march, and civil disobedience are highly recommended under international law. Protests, civil disobedience.
Marches and civil disobedience are highly photogenic and newsworthy. They attract international media, giving the unrecognized state's leadership, and cause a platform to bypass the parent state's information blockade.
There's something I want to pass, and I repeat it. Protests, march, and civil disobedience are highly photogenic and the newest They attract international media, giving the unrecognized state leadership and the cause platform to bypass the present state's information blockade. Now that Nigeria block us, what we are doing with our social media is making a exposition on what Nigeria is doing, showing the videos of the killings, narrating those killings, emphasizing on it. That now that we are a new country, that we are giving you people a soft landing. So stop those things. That our new country is going to help you to stop these inhuman rights, all the killings that are going on. Then there is also going to be something that we're going to use that pressure on the protests to pass Nigeria and remove that blockade they put us to not be there, to not recognize us. Then it will trigger the international community to give them order to leave and recognize us. Then if they refuse to do that, then the government of the international community will sanction and start doing things like what will start happening very soon. That is why now that the world are considering to sanction Nigeria, if you can be able to ride around and do protests all over the countries, they're also going to trigger more important, serious recognition to us. Look at it here. The attack we are attacking on Nigeria on social media, proving how Nigeria is a death sentence to the Biafran people, to every indigenous people. It's also part of it. It's not an attack I'm attacking when I told them that Nigeria means death sentence to the indigenous people. Then I will bring videos of indigenous people who are dying in a large number every blessed day, proving how Nigeria is killing people. When you kill someone, it's not a death sentence. You pass for that person before you kill him. The Fulani is the Nigerian government with their Boko Haram military passing death sentence of the Biafran people by shooting every day with their more tanker. On our protest, all these things are involved. Then towards the protest, all these things are very what? Are very important and that they're involved. We are only advising our government, we only bringing the information, we only bringing solution to get this international recognition more than the way we're expecting. That's why I ask you, do you know maybe because of we are not doing any protest, that is why no country want to go to recognition, or they keeping silent to see what we can be able to do? Do you know that maybe if you try march out tomorrow, the other next day we'll get international recognition? Do you know that? Tell me the one you know that will work for us to get international recognition. If you know one, tell me. We are rubbing our mind together. This attracts international media, giving the unrecognized state leadership and cause a platform to bypass the present state information blockage. Those things that Nigeria is presenting against us, we are on the social media are the one to debunk those lies. We are the one to support the government to make sure that all the lies that they are bringing, that the world will see that this is not true. When people rise up and say, "Oh, nothing is happening in Nigeria," when you bring the videos of what's happening in Nigeria, showcase on social media, and they explain what is happening, they are seeing it. You think they are not? They are seeing. They are doing what? They are seeing those things that we are talking about. That is why it is very imperative for you to stand up and fight for United States of Biafra through your platform. Defend everyone defendable, both local, both foreign. Make sure that you balance the equation. Do you see the importance of protest, the value of physical protest, and sitting at home, peaceful disobedience? That's how they call it. And you know that is the matter of Obatobie. And Obatobie was using multiple dimensions. Then what are those another multiple dimensions that we are using? We see all Obatobie multiple dimensions is in open. He told that the road or the yardstick to get Biafra is not hide. That is in the open. If you are doing protest, is it hide? When we are hiding is when we are not doing protest. When I start home, I'm not in the homeland anymore. These are part of the things that we need to rethink how we are handling them. How important and how value those things are. Look at only what only protest can bring to us. If only protest can do this for us, do you not think that it's important for us to listen? For us to do it now? If only protest can bring all these things to us. After I will count those benefits, those things that protest can bring, then you now judge, is it not true? Is it not good for us to try it? Even if it is once time. They said, what I'll prove to you that there is difference between individual protests and the government protests. In terms of using United States of Biafra to do protests, there is difference between my own protest that I'm doing here right now, telling the world that we are dying. Nigeria is a death sentence to me as an indigenous person. That is why I don't want to die. That's why it's own Nigeria, denying Nigeria. It's no longer my country. I hope you are following. Let us continue.
Human rights narrative. If the parent state represses the peaceful protests with violence, the movement shifts the narrative from a political dispute to a human rights crisis.
Hear this. Human rights narrative. If the present state, which happens to be Nigeria, represents the peaceful protest with violence, or Bruna, the protest is going on. Like this one is going on now, and Nigeria do their shenanigan. Do you know why that the world will not interfere very quick? Because it's not for a new country that are doing that protest, it's individual. He have, if the value is total of 100%, the individual protest has 30%, but the government or protest in the name of the new country for international organization have 70% totally. So tell me, which one do you think that is called to do more, to implement? Is it not that one that has 70% over it? Is the one that we needed to use to do what? Accomplish our mission. Do not forget that our line is open in case you have anything to say. You can call on number +9 7 33 60 51 337. That is the number to call. Again, for the newcomers, +9 7 33 60 51 337. That is number only on WhatsApp. If you have something that comes into your mind that you think that you want people to hear, or even though if you want to ask me a question, do that on that number only on WhatsApp. Thank you. As we move, where are we? Human rights narrative on the protest. Now we're going to end with human rights narrative on the protest. If the present state refers the peaceful protest with violence, Nigeria, what they are capable of doing, every protest that turns into violence, they will start shooting gun, tearing tear gas. That is violence. When we sit at home, they come. That is violence. These are the things that a new country we use to argue. And this is why we left these people. This is why we have our new country. Give us a recognition. We have something to use to argue at every time to bring to the world that we understand the real deal and what we are doing. And now that we are proving their documents on what they want people to do, and then they are listening, but you will not know. Or one of them just make a comment, then you will know. That is why that everything they said here, the movement shifted the narrative from a political dispute to a human rights crisis. This makes it moral essential for democratic nation to recognize the new state as sanction against the abused present state, as seen in some historical decolonization movements. Do you hear that? Do you hear it? Protest. The value of protest. Maybe the world are waiting for our protest on the international level. Maybe they are waiting for it. Also, maybe the government might be taking their time to plan it. But now, if they are planning, we also prove to them is the right of the government to do that. I'm not talking about individual protests. I'm talking about a protest of a new country. The way Bangladesh did their own, the way India did their own. Go and check. The way Kenya did their own, the way Namibia did their own, the way Eritrea did their own, the way South Sudan did their own. Everything. So, when you look at these things that I'm counting for you, those that have achieved it in that way, towards of now, the world is very corrupt. That the protests in the I saw cannot be corrupt. It's an evidence to the world that we are seeking for international recognition. That's our paper, that's our document that is in your office. This is the people who ask us to submit that document to your office that they want a new country. It triggers international pressure and international pity. They use that pity and that pressure that you mount for them not to sleep, for them not have a peaceful rest. They will use it to give you recognition. That is why they told that international is very important. Protest is very important. It is very important. This make moral easiest for when we're doing this protest, Nigerian government always on violence, always intimidation, always on or autocracy, always everything in Nigeria. When they come outside and start fighting, making the peaceful protest to turn inside violence, the world will say that it gives the countries, listen, morally, it make it easier for democratic nations to recognize the new state as a sanction against the abusive present state happen to be Nigeria, who is abusing us every day, who is very abusive, as seen in some historical decolonization. It has happened many places. Now, on our protest, they will also say, oh, this thing happened in India. Oh, we use this and give recognition. This thing happened in Namibia, in Africa. We use this and give them recognition. This is happening in Bangladesh. We use this and give them international recognition. Oh, it happened in Ethiopia against Eritrea. We give us. This is how the world will be thinking. That is why they said in some historical declaration that what we are passing through has happened somewhere in the world. It has done what? It has happened some places in the world. That is why on our own case are not going to be different. No matter how they deny it, this political pressure that we mount change many things, many narratives. It's only in Nigeria that protest is not changing anything. Rather, they use the opportunity to arrest and kill many people. On the international global community, they don't do that. Okay. All right. I thought after the attack, they will send us. I will tell them that they keep us back live. Can you hear me, please? Can someone comment? Can anybody hear me? Can anyone hear me? Can someone comment? Because we are somehow under attack. Can you hear me right now? Can you see me? Can you? Can you hear me, please? We are under such attack, please. If you can hear me, please comment. I want to use the gadgets where I can see the comments. Can you hear? Can someone hear me? Can someone hear me, please? Can someone prove that I'm still alive? Because, okay, thank you so much. History, thank you so much. Yes, we move. The other gadget we are using is under attack, so I can't see any comment from there. Unless I go back to the one I used to read this international law. Unless I go back there. Let us continue. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you. Please keep the comments coming after. I will go back to the comment section and greet those who are there, who are making it happen on the comment section, please. Now, because of when this government is leading the protest or doing the protest, they said what? They said that is triggering international the countries that are democracy or democracy in the world, people that countries that have their own independence fully, to grant us international recognition. I want you to know one thing. The only one thing that we are seeking is what? International recognition. That is only one that is missing. Despite that, whatever it takes to be a country, we have it. Whatever it takes to protect our land, we have it. But we are seeking peacefully for international recognition to prove prove that we are Republicans in nature, to prove that we, the Biafran people, are democracy on our own, that we are not learning democracy, and also to prove that we are not acting like Nigeria, Boko Haram country, the death sentence called one Nigeria through amalgamation of Frederick Lugard. These areas needed attention to go. These are the things that we have to do on our own. So the world will know how serious we are, that we as the Biafran people are not panic and we are not playing. Look at the things that, look at the value of protests from the government. Look at the value. You don't know the value of protest that the Biafran people made in Finland after declaration, how that protest saved my Simon, and how that protest also made them understand that there is a declaration in Finland. Finland could have denied this declaration if we don't make that protest, because that protest is an eyesore. And from there, we also explained to the media news to the media that Biafra was declared on November 29, 2024. Hope you are following. Let us continue listening to what protests can bring and things we can use also to do the protests.
This makes it morally easier for democratic nations to recognize the new state as a sanction against the abusive parent state, as seen in some historical decolonization movements. Lobbying global institutions, the visibility and moral legitimacy gained in the streets provide ammunition for the unrecognized states' representatives to lobby the UN, the EU, and individual foreign ministries, turning sympathetic public opinion into official diplomatic action or economic aid.
Do you hear this? That the protests, when we are protesting, we can also use lobby. The protest stands like lobbying the global institutions. We can also lobby global institutions also. But the protest on its own is what? To lobby global international institutions, because look at the protest happening in Nigeria for Onyendu, for President Mazinande Kanu. Media in America are talking about it. Media in many countries are talking about it. That is how it happens. It triggers, that is why they call it international political pressure. It triggers international pressure for the new country to be recognized. The visibility and the moral legitimacy gained in the street, providing ammunition for the unorganized states. That the protests, when it triggers international pressure, that is also that some states that are on their own, some states or even some institutions may decide to give us what? May decide to provide ammunition for the unorganized state. They may decide to give us weapons that pass what Nigeria have or what matches them, for us to now determine to chase them away in our country. Also, to do what? To chase Nigeria away in our country. When the protest triggers all these things, that's why I told that it's not only on paper and pen of our document that is okay. Physical matters so much. What is the physical? Protest. The physical is what? Protest. Doing that to protest helps the government for other countries who are on their own, or some institution or Amnesty International also to sponsor weapon for the Biafran people, to, if Nigeria refuse to leave, for us to start chasing them away in our country. They can also give us weapons to defend our land, the under self-determination. Protest. That's why they told you in the beginning that the protest is one of the most powerful tools for they call it here unrecognized country to get recognized. That is what it is. That is why it's important to pay attention in many things that can work for us. provide ammunition for the unorganized states like United States of Biafra, representative to lobby the UN, the EU, and individual foreign ministries, turning sympathetic public opinion into official diplomatic action or economic aid. This protest, the importance of protest is what I am telling, is what they are telling us. Let me not use that word I'm telling you. This is what they are telling us. If the protest can turn the eyes of the members of UN, they are what? They are representative of the UN and EU and some individual foreign ministry. That's not the main. Now the protest can draw pity for them to pity us publicly. Then it becomes an omission into official diplomatic action. The protest can turn into diplomatic action. What is diplomatic action? Then the countries that are seeing that having pity on us will give us recognition. Oh, from this today we have signed a treaty with the state of Biafra as a country. Oh, today we have signed. Oh, this is how everything works. Now we decide not to go into armed struggle anymore. Now the government are not ready to go into armed struggle. They want a peaceful way. The peaceful way must draw attention. How can they draw attention? Protests. And also what we do on social media. To let them know how Nigeria is evil. How Nigeria is a death sentence to every indigenous person. And how Nigeria is spying every indigenous person. How when you talk, they will silence you. How when you talk, they want to kill you. Then the protest, look at the last word. The protest publicly turn it into official diplomatic action. Diplomatic action, that's what we are looking for. We have one thing, only how many things to do? Political, diplomatic, international recognition, and legal way. This is all in the one line that we are seeing that they ask us to do. They ask us to follow these criteria. Is one of those, when you hear the criteria to come in a new country is permanent population, defined territory, effective government, capacity to relationship. There is also this protest becomes another criteria for us to get international recognition of a new country as we are. These are part of the things that we need to do. We must tell ourselves truth, to be honest. If we really want mass account to be out, because you have already know that Nigeria has already passed death sentence of mass Nnamdi, but because people can't be on the fuse, that is why it's happening. How are they doing it? They are doing it for over 5 years, postponing the call. After 5 years, now is the come and tell him to come and defend himself. And they also arrested his lawyer, put him in prison, in Kuje prison. Could you imagine? Arrested the brother of Mazi Nnamdi. That is a country that when we do protests and prove all these things, it draws, even if so the world are devil, they will have one little bit pity on us. Pity brings international recognition from countries. Some of them might come through business. What they will gain, give them, tell them what they will gain when they support us to have our new country. Tell them, let them hear it. That is the again when you support us to have this new country. I hope you are listening. Remember to call if you have something to say. Remember that the number to call is +9 7 3 6 0 5 1 3 7. That is the number to call only on WhatsApp. If you want to call me this evening, or if you want to make a suggestion. We are proving to the world that the Biafran people are not violent people. That Nigeria is the one brought all this violence to us. Nigeria was the one who made us to form ESN. Nigeria is the woman who made us to form Biafra Liberation Army. Nigeria is the whole because of now that we are in a country have Biafra army and Biafra police and air force, everything in between, because of how they clean our people, how they are evil, how they sentence us to death, and we refuse to abide that rules of sentencing us to death. That is one Nigeria. The meaning of one Nigeria is a death sentence to every indigenous people. That is why they are killing people here and there. That is why we are seeking for this national recognition. That is why we are making prayers on social media. We are calling on all the internal world, both the so evil, the Satan, call London, for them to give Biafran people their rights. Give us our international recognition. Ask your death sentence to withdraw his military, Boko Haram military in our country. We are a sovereign state. We have met every criteria that you put as a criteria for a new country to emerge. We have overmet those things. We have overpopulation of people. We have 40 states. We have effective government, and we have a permanent population that means different people. What else are you looking for? Is it when Nigeria will wipe us away, then you will come? Is it what you want? Like what happened in 1967 to 1970? You refuse to intervene and stop it, and give Ojukwu international recognition, and make Biafra a country because of the agenda that is in your mind. But we're here to resort that your evil agenda. We are here to expose all the evil agenda for us to be a free country that we fight and remove all these invaders, all these rebels, all this insurgency, all this banditry. You kind of Biafra will stop all these things. That is why we are begging and pleading to you to have mercy on us. We have suffered too much. We have died too much. For how long are we going to continue like this, my people? The only that we must know is that the time we are into is our time to exercise our rights. And none of this our rights will have it halfway. No, we must exercise full rights that we have as the Biafran people. We are not going to leave it halfway. We must carry it on, and we are going to make sure that nobody stops us from having it. By how? Protest is also involved. We can conduct protests. We can do that. We can do many things again, but we need to use what? The multiple dimension into what we are doing. Into what? Into what we are doing. I know you may not like to stay here because of we are not laughing. We are being serious. We are not laughing. We are bringing it raw the way it is. That is why I told you, if you can call me, contribute anything you want, it's in your mind. So it's very important that we understand the level where we are. And I've also proved to you that Mazi Nandekan is going to be released. He released the will release others because their plan is to buy him. But the declaration of United States of Biafra is a hope and another life given to Mazi Nandekan. Oh, you don't know that? It's part of it. So when you see and you hear it clearly, then implement it. You do what? We have to implement those areas that we might not be able to be handle things on it, to make sure that we carry everything in between, which I call it multiple dimension. It must continue. I said what? It must continue. We are not going back to Nigeria again. We will never. Rather, we all perish, Nigeria perish. Let's continue. Number 3.
3. Demonstrating non-violence and stability. While
3. Demonstrating non-violence and instability. Demonstrating nudodi, there is peace everywhere. Demonstrating stability, everything in the okay. That is what they asked us to do. How? Listen.
violence tends to be more volatile and less predictable, non-violent civil resistance is statistically more effective than armed struggle at achieving political goals, and is more appealing to the international community. Higher legitimacy. Non-violent movements.
Let's hold it here. Why violence trending to be more violent and lesser predictable? Non-violence, civil resistance is statistical more effective than armed struggle. Do you hear it? Na far prefer na protest ka mma carry iburu egbe na-agba for a new country. They prefer civil disobedience. They prefer protest more than what? Igbe egbe. They call it what? More than armed struggle. The world values peaceful protest. It's only in Nigeria they don't value peaceful protest because the protest will destroy what is going on and destroy the earth enclave. That's their sentence called one Nigeria. You know that one Nigeria means death sentence for the indigenous people. One Nigeria, death sentence for the indigenous people. That is what Britain brought to us. That is why America, you are seeing all the killings. It's also a hard time, America, you call Britain to stay away from our country, our new country. It's also a way that America, you are rapporting with Britain, all they do. You and them are the world 5 power. America, Russia, China, France, and England. These are 5 corrupt world leaders we have today that are not fighting for justice. They hold on injustice, meted on average life. If they are fighting truly, how could they be there? All these things are going on in Biafra land, going on all over the north and the other parts that's going on today. And how people are flew away from their ancestral home and the Fulanis are taking over. How much are they giving to you people? What is the business that you are doing with them? That's why I said we got to lose and to regain ourselves back. We must find every pipeline that Britain is putting from here to Europe to destroy all of them. That is the benefit. Do you know how many years they are building that thing? Then, to prove who we are, is to tell them, no, this is our land. You can't by force anything here, and you cannot intimidate anybody. We must do things the way it is and the way it's supposed to be. So, my people, why violence trending to become more difficult and less presentable? Non-violent civil resistance is aesthetical more effective than armed struggle, and achieving political goal, and it's more applying to the international community. For us to also to achieve it, we need to send our document to the international community, whether they are going to read or they're not going to not. But we must send it there to keep it there. We must do what? We must have to keep it there. The international community will know that we are what? Serious. That we determine what we are doing. That we are not doing child's play. They prefer peaceful protests in America, in London, in UK, everywhere. They prefer peaceful protests, except in Africa. That they will tell, no, they allow them, they will destroy our business. Because the white man values business more than our life. If they said it, they let them prove it. Nothing is happening in Gaza. What's happening in Gaza is small in what we, the Biafran people, are passing through in our land. What the northern people are passing through in their own territory. What people are passing through is so much, is unacceptable. Why must people pass through that hell before you come? Because of what? The business, the profit that met Britain to kill people in 20 centuries in our own land. Those blood that Britain wasted since over all those years are still crying. They have never been settled. That is why they are the one triggering Nigeria to be making all these mistakes you see they are making today. They are the one making Nigeria to be doing the shenanigans, the nonsense that we are seeing that they are doing. We must understand it perfectly. Remember, like I told you, that our line are open for call for you. If you want to contribute something, endeavor to call on our number. Like I've called it many times. Plus what? +97 +97 33 60 51 337. That is the numbers. If you want to call for this program, you can call. That is the number to call on this program. So we are waiting for you to call on this number as we move into our program. Please endeavor, because your voice is also important into what we are doing. We are not here for child's play. We are here to make sure that you understand that freedom is not play. That the freedom is what? Very, very sacrosanct. That freedom is what we have to do to make sure that we free ourselves from this enclave called Nigeria, from this death sentence called one Nigeria. These are the things that are very important. That is why we are here to tell you, to prove it to you that you have to do something. That we all have to do what? Do something. What we are going to do is what we are learning from here. All these things are so important because it's part of what we help us to do what? To get our international recognition. When it's part of what is going to do us to get international recognition, is there a reason why we are going to be holding on for something else? It's not a high time that we put our heads together and work towards the goal, and we'll do whatever they ask us to do for us to get this international recognition that are going to serve all of us. The international recognition is what is going to serve you and I. That is why it's very important. That is why we don't have to play with it. That is why we must continue. Make sure that we all stand on our feet to support our government by bringing information that is going to help United States of Biafra to achieve this goal. And it's also in our hand also to do that. We will not leave everything for them. We are not going to leave them alone. We are going to also exercise our rights. So you will also know that the government is very, very effective. That the government is not here to play. That the government is for you and I to achieve our aim by supporting the government. Everything that happens into movement that we're into is a time for you and I to do what? To learn our lesson and also know areas that we are going to support our government. When we are not on social media showcasing our rights or proving why the government is important to us, what happened? The world, everyone will be silent. But with social media, debunking the local lie and bringing international pressure to the world, they will know how serious we are. I say what? That is when the world will know how serious the Biafran people are. That is, they are not going to be trained adamant. Then they also know that when they say that we are not serious, invoking their own secrets and presenting it to all of us to prove that this their international laws is not only for the white people, it's also for the black people. When we continuously hitting on it, what happened? Here they told you that it triggers international community to come into what we as the Biafran people are doing. Because all these truths are here for us, despite they hide it from us. But we must continue, because when we stop, they will say, "Oh, they are not serious. They have act like what they act before." In 1967 to 1970, they thought that we are not serious. That is how they see us. Now it's a high time for us to prove to them that we are serious. By what? Making everything to work for us. Try to let the world know that this thing that you are hiding from us, so that we understand it, so that we are not going to allow it to happen. It is very important. It is our own obligation. It is our own right to also do what? To do that. And that is what is going to help us to achieve our aim, to achieve our goals. That is why you don't have to wait for anybody to deceive you. That is why on your own, you have to do everything humanly possible to make the world hear our voice, to let the world see the work of the government and how that you as a citizen values your country. All these things is in our hand. All this is what? They are all in our hand to do. Why are we doing it? It's for us to support our government. It's for us to let the world know that this country is not just for the government, that this country is for me, that I need this thing badly, that I want it like never before. By how? By you supporting United States of Biafra in everything that we are doing, and also bringing what will trigger international pressure on the side of the government. These are the things that you have to, or we have to do. It's also proving how we are supporting our government. Please, as you come, please like and share the program, please. If it's the first time coming, you will see a 3 dot in front of your right hand, top of your phone on the screen. You will see 3 dots, 1, 2, 3. Then click on it, it will open. You will see like and share. Then also subscribe. This is Real Biafra TV, so you may be able to know when we are live to educate ourselves. What I'm doing is not for only for the Biafran people, it's for every country, that how countries have got their independence is what I'm presenting to you. So do not think I'm doing, oh, no. I am doing for you to know this is a process, this is a procedure, this is existing protocol. And the truth that this protest is the most powerful. It's one of the most powerful. If you follow that along, you will see how it is one of the most powerful, really. Not just by saying it. Do you know that this is what we do? Then the world will look at us and give us a recognition that we are seeking for. This is part of what we have to do. If doing this can help us, then why not go on and do it? If you look at all this that we are reading here, that this can help us to get international recognition, what are we doing then? What are we doing then if it can help us? And now they are proving to us that we have to do this, that is going to help us. Why not do it? I said what? Why not we try it a little bit and see how it works? That thing that will draw the international pressure on all these countries in the world. They can be able to give us our recognition. They even said some those that are not even the government, they can also draw the attention of them for us to seek this our international recognition. Everything that we are doing, we must do it to make sure that we support our government. We must encourage the government. We also have to give the information. That is why you are in the media. Bring those information, they will hear it, they will think of it, and if they see right of doing it, they will also do it. Because all this is what is called what? Multiple dimension. That triggers international what? Recognition. First, it will trigger pressure. The pressure will trigger pity from their conscience. What makes them a human being if they are not, because not all of them are like Lolugard and Alexander Stubb. Not all of them. These two people called Lolugard and Alexander Stubb with Nigerian government are the most demon or satanic thing that you have ever experienced in your life. They are very bad. They are the problem that the people are facing through. They are the one that don't want people to be free. Rather, they want us to bend down so they can keep on marching on our head. But now that we have refused, they will see us as their enemy, because Britain know that coming of Biafra will stop them making our oil. That is why we are fighting against power and principalities that are controlling the world. But because we are going to stop, that is why we must do things that will trigger international pressure. The pressure will draw pity. The pity will grant them, give us our international recognition. These are truths that we should not, if we don't know in the past, now that we are knowing it, we have to do that. Now that we are knowing all these things, we have to do what? Try it. Try it and see how it works. In abroad, protest. In the homeland, sit at home. All are what? Inclusive. All are important. No one is lesser than the other one. It's also true that our government is in control. They told you here, it's also true that the government is in control of the panel of the population of the people. It's also true that the government is in control of everything that in the new country are doing, despite being unorganized country, that the citizens are listening. The government are the one handle the affairs of the citizens. So when you hear about this, think twice. It's also inclusive in what I call multiple dimension that we are using to get our international recognition. All these things do not, anyone we did not do, we will draw the other one back. I think on my own, if you ask me, I may say that because of we are not doing protests, it's also delaying to prove to the world that we send a document to them that Biafra has officially been declared. Then, are we afraid of our official declaration? Are we? Are we afraid of our official declaration? How can we prove that we're not afraid of our official declaration? We can also prove that through our words, our protests. In not when we will come on social media talking to ourselves alone. Prove it to the world. March out there with the order from the government. I said what? I said with the order from the government. These are the things we need to do to bring them, to let them know that we are well prepared, that we're not afraid. That is no longer what the world thought that we are doing, that we have fully take control. They say that the protest also by the government, the government is fully in control of its territory and its citizens, despite being in a dispute with Nigeria government. If we are doing a protest in abroad and Nigeria government open mouth to condemn it, they have passed they failed the law of the international community also. Because for them to drag our protest is also proving that if you're doing it in Nigeria, they're going to shoot, they're going to bring arms. And from doing that, they are doing what? They are violating the rules of the international global community. And not that if you do protesting abroad, that Nigeria will come, because that Nigeria is a country that one of the most lawless countries in the world that does not have change because of the amalgamation. Because of it, everything is going to be by thunder by force. That is the plan of Nigeria government. And the Biafran people, being who we are, we must stand up to resist this evil entity, to resist this death sentence called One Nigeria, that was meant to kill every indigenous person. This evil, this death sentence called One Nigeria, that is how we are going to showcase more that no, we can't take this anymore. That is why we can't anymore lead us to went to Finland on November 29, 2024 to make our official declaration. We are passing message. We are giving information. We also educating ourselves to know that this is our right also to do that. So if eventually the government call for it, that we can join on that massive movement. It is very important to us as the Biafran people. It is very, very important that we pay attention, that we give government information that are going to help them. The information that is going to help unite the state of Biafra. The information that is going to help what? United State of Biafra. Give the information. That's what the international global stage may look. They are one far member. There is things the attention will draw on themselves. There is things that they are not thinking about. But when you and I bring this out, they might reason and say, okay, let us try it and see. That is why they call it bringing a vital information to what? To the new state government for them to work effectively. So that is why it's not good for us to, when we see the truth, we want to shy away from it. When we shy away from the truth are going to deal with us. That is why we don't have to shy away from the truth. That is why we, as the Biafran people, must continue standing on the side of government and also helping the government in a way that they will be proud of us and what we are doing in social media. Remember, that is how Obato Obie operates. It is part of the things that we have to implement. It is part of those things that are very important to us, that is not common. Anyone that we are not doing is dragging the other one down, is also slowing the other one down. But if we are doing this and doing that, this one is pushing for this one. When you pass first term, it is obvious you will pass second term. It is obvious you will pass third term and enter another class. All these things are small logic that are very common, that we also have to implement to make sure that we get to our goal. It doesn't left for anybody to do it alone. It is a collective effort of you, me, or another person. It is what? A collective effort to you, to me, to any other person that will help the government. If there is anyone that is missing, they will see it on their side and they will do it. This is the most truth that maybe is been missing. So do not panic. Do not be deceived. Do not wait for any time any longer. If you know what you can do to help the government by information, go on and do it. So what? Go on and bring those information out. Go on, bring that information out for your government to use it to do what? To move forward. For the government to stand strong, to not lack any important information. That is why everything in between works right now into what we are doing. Do not say that this idea is nonsense, this idea is not welcome. No. No. Every advice is important. Every advice is welcome at this stage where we are. Every advice is more important like another one, like the other one, because all of them work in between. All of them are inclusive of what we as the Biafran people are looking for. It's part of it, and we don't know from where it may come. But the issue is that, can this help us to achieve what we are looking for? When the answer is yes, when the answer is what? Yes, nobody will stop it. Those things that will draw attention is what we are asking for us to see. Everything that has to work right now, we need to implement it. I hold down a little bit. Let me see if our people can call. But so far the call is not coming. We are going to go further. Whenever you come across this program on your own time, please like and share the program. Whenever you come across this program, please endeavor to like and share the program. By you sharing the program is another way of making this message to reach to every important place and make it to go viral, so people may know that we understand what we are doing. Nigeria is that country who violates every law. If you doubt me, call for protest in the name of the state of Biafra, you will see their mouths. It's a trap. You use it as a trap to Nigeria. In the homeland, sit at home. In abroad, protest. Use it as what? As trap. Keep it for Nigeria. They will fall into it. Nigeria will fall into it. That is who they are. They don't respect any law. They don't abide by any law. They want to do things only in their own way. They want to do things in the way that favors Frederick Lolugard. Let's continue. Higher legitimacy. Look at they said higher legitimacy in the line of protest. That is, they call it higher. The protest, only the government give it a higher legitimacy. For what? Listen.
Movements are seen as more legitimate and democratic in the eyes of Western and international organizations, which are the primary bodies that grant formal recognition. Lower risk of instability. By pursuing a...
Let's hold it here. Higher legitimacy. Non-violent movements are seen as more legitimate and democrats in the eyes of the Western and the international organization, which are the primary bodies that grant formal recognition. The protests, in the eyes of the international that we are talking about, in the eyes of the West and international organizations, which are primarily bodies that grant formal recognition. The question is, you ask yourself, oh, why this recognition is important? It is because that is what makes Ojukwu fail. No international body recognized Ojukwu in 1967 to 1970. No international body recognized him. But now that we make a declaration, Ojukwu fell because of armed struggle. Now that the government realized, okay, Ojukwu go through armed struggle, he fell. Okay, let us not go through armed struggle. Let us go peacefully. Then why does it peacefully? That number one key that leads to it is protest. Why can't we do it? Higher legitimacy non-violent movements are seen as more legitimate and democrats in the eyes of the West and international organizations, which are the primary bodies that grant formal recognition that we are looking for. Protest, non-violent movement, sit at home, peaceful is obedience. That is how they call it. So we've seen all these things that we are protests are bringing. Don't you think on your own that the protest is important? Don't you think about that? That the protests are very important into what we are doing right now. I want to look at that way and see how important it is. I want to look at that way that maybe our mind escape from it and think of it and know how we can present this to our government and know the rightful channel that we can tell it. That person will make the government to hear what we are saying and see the importance of it. If protests can bring us to this level, I think for me, if you ask me, it's very important. For my own opinion. I don't know about your own opinion either. You might have different view. But if I'm in charge, I must go through this way. If I'm in charge and I know this, I will take it up and see where it will lead me. Whether they will change this law of the protest of a new country, of bringing a international pressure. If they can be able to say no, it's no longer working. I hope you are following. Let's continue. Lower risk of instability.
Non-violent path, the movement signals that the new state will be a stable and reliable member of the international community, making other nations more willing to recognize and establish political and economic relations with it.
Do you hear it? Lower risk of instability. By pushing a non-violence path, the movement saying that the new state will be a stable and reliable member of the international community. That is why ODPM is not in there going inside Woto Woto. Do you see why she is not into Woto Woto? She is looking and seeking for this our freedom with what? Non-violence. Then inside that non-violence, you have a right of protest that will trigger this. See, remember what we read here. Protest is what trigger all these things that we are seeing here. Protest is what trigger how many value of the new government. After, we will count it for you. So if only one thing can trigger this value, can bring this value, for me, if you may ask me, I will endorse it without wasting time. For me, I will do what? Endorse it without wasting time. I'm telling you the honest truth from me. I will endorse it very, very fast. Because it is welcome development, opinion or option, or advice, or information, or simple or very humble submission. Yes. Reliable to be a member of international community, making other nations more willing to recognize and establish political and economic relations with it. Making other countries, when they say the protest is going on, there is now trigger international pressure and also trigger pity from them. They will go and they will say, okay, they did not do it under armed struggle. It's peaceful way. That is why they said that change is what is constant in everything that you're doing in your life. You can change to this, change to that. Let us see how when this protest hostage on the America, hostage on every countries, that where we are living, that have say into our recognition, why they will not? Then when we leave it as an evidence to go into armed struggle, when they come, we will use this to argue. When we are peaceful, when we are doing non-violence, peaceful country or looking for our recognition, what happened then? That's what you were saying. No family when you abua. On a market, all these are important. No one will should left behind. We must implement all of them. That is what Mazi Simon Ekpa called what? Multiple dimension. The multiple dimension is not going to die, but rather we must continue using it in a way that the world will see that we are peaceful what? People. That we are people that are not making fights, that we are people that are know what we are doing, and that we understand the importance of what we are doing, my people. Don't just ignore me. Don't just look at my face, but look at what I am bringing to you. We are going to play it once again. If a call comes in, we will take. If no call, after playing it without interrupting on it, then we will close the program. Because we want to spend 3 hours and we are heading towards that. Listen carefully. You can record this and forward it to anybody who you want.
Protests are one of the most powerful non-military tools an unrecognized country can use to gain international recognition by generating widespread visibility and moral pressure. This process is generally known as civil resistance in the context of self-determination struggles. Here is how protests help an unrecognized entity gain statehood. 1. Establishing de facto statehood and control. Mass protests, especially forms of organized civil disobedience, demonstrate that the unrecognized state has a functioning society and an effective, unifying administration that is in control of its population, even if it lacks formal government structures. Proof of a population and will. Large, sustained and unified protests are a clear, visible manifestation of the population's collective political will to be independent. International law requires a permanent population and a government capable of effective control, and mass movements show that the new entity's administration can mobilize and control its people for a shared political goal. Parallel institutions. Successful civil resistance often involves creating parallel institutions, schools, courts, tax systems, etc. Widespread public compliance with these protest-led institutions, rather than the parent states, is a strong argument that the new entity meets the effective government criterion for statehood. 2. Mobilizing international pressure. Protests force the issue onto the global agenda and create a moral imperative for foreign states to act. Media and visibility. Protests, marches and civil disobedience are highly photogenic and newsworthy. They attract international media, giving the unrecognized state's leadership and cause a platform to bypass the parent state's information blockade. Human rights narrative. If the parent state represses the peaceful protests with violence, the movement shifts the narrative from a political dispute to a human rights crisis. This makes it morally easier for democratic nations to recognize the new state as a sanction against the abusive parent state, as seen in some historical decolonization movements. Lobbying global institutions. The visibility and moral legitimacy gained in the streets provide ammunition for the unrecognized states' representatives to lobby the UN, the EU, and individual foreign ministries, turning sympathetic public opinion into official diplomatic action or economic aid. 3. Demonstrating non-violence and stability. While violence tends to be more volatile and less predictable, non-violent civil resistance is statistically more effective than armed struggle at achieving political goals and is more appealing to the international community. Higher legitimacy. Non-violent movements are seen as more legitimate and democratic in the eyes of Western and international organizations, which are the primary bodies that grant formal recognition. Lower risk of instability. By pursuing a non-violent path, the movement signals that the new state will be a stable and reliable member of the international community, making other nations more willing to recognize and establish political and economic relations with it.
I'm not the one who said it. That's the message to the people of Biafra, for us to also present it to our government, for them to look if there is way it can be possible to handle this on the international global stage. Now, to the world, why the Biafran people are calling on you for us to have our life is because of all this that is going on in Nigeria. The death sentence that Britain brought to us. All this that is going on. All this that is going on is for just that we call what? That we Biafran people denounce the amalgamation that give birth to one Nigeria give birth to us as death sentence, and we said no. How can we be alive and somebody pass death sentence on us? That is only why the Biafran people will look at everything: inhuman treatment, intimidation, the abuse of rights, the no free will speech, no gathering, even common protests that you, international body, ask people to do. The only one they did was Mazda and the Kano, and the women throw tear gas, they bring gun and bullets, start shooting the Protestants. Is it how you people are living in your own country? That is why after seeing all this, after seeing the killings that are happening every day, that the Biafran people says no, that we are not going to condone this anymore, that we have decided to leave Nigeria in peace for those who want one Nigeria. We did what? We leave them in peace for those who want one Nigeria. No, we are not asking them to join. No, we want just on our own. Hey, Mas Humble, good evening from here. Good evening, Mas Humble Lion. I greet you, my senior comrade. I greet you so much. Thank you so much for all you do every day. I encourage you so much, and I also learn from you. Thank you so much, my senior man. I salute you. Follow Biafrans in the morning when we are not alive. You can go to my Humble platform. If you never go there, you will hear another different. Everybody when he has his own work. He has his own way. That is how we are doing it here. I see him as one of the most strongest that stand up to defend the truth under United States of Biafra government. Thank you so much, my senior man. I salute you and I greet you. Yes, the people of Biafra, I want you to understand that we, as the Biafran people, must implement everything that what we are doing is to do humanly impossible to beat Nigeria hands down. It must be first on the international global stage. That is where we are going to drag Nigeria down. When Mazen can say that he's going to use truth and destroy Nigeria, do you think he's talking to everyone in Nigeria? No, he's to telling the international global community the truth about what is going, about what is happening. That is what he meant. He's to tell the international global community what is happening. Say the truth at all time. Present evidence with fact and figure. Showing things that are happening in that place. Proving to the world why we decide to leave the country. And why we don't want to become a member of that enclave, that death sentence called one Nigeria. All these things is happening. And we are proving to the world why we say no. That they cannot stop us this time around, because the Biafran people, we have stand up to take what belongs to us. What belongs to us is what? Our nation. Our nation is what belongs to us, that are very important to us. Because of how important it is, that is why we are here this evening. That is why we see on social media the killing that is going on every day. Even as of yesterday, there is killing. Even at early this morning, there is killing of the indigenous people. And people are crying. We want to be alive. That is why we have chosen our own government. That is why we have chosen our rights, to exercise our rights and be alive. That is why for those who hear the program, we are doing for every language. We are not tribal people. See the mother crying. He lost his son. This is the real Hausas. Soldiers of Nigeria are not protecting them. The soldier of Nigeria is not protecting them, rather, they are helping the Fulanis to buy them. They are telling you that the soldiers back Fulani, the bandits, to wipe them away.
Wasu minority. Abu yana ce mana tuwo a kwarya. Kullum za su sokane mu. A zo a saya musu wai minority. Tun yaushe Allah na tuba na gaji da yawo muna ta gaisuwa. Kamar kan da yake jiya mun tashi a biso ne ma. Kamun wannan abun ya faru da yamma. Muna na a gida kan bai yi nisa ba.
If you understand the language, you are free to call to explain to the world. I will explain the one, listen, the one I know. If you know what is the full meaning of what he's saying right now. You can understand the language, please call to explain.
Don dalilin su din ne don a yanka su ya zama da damuwa. Aka shooting nasu dalilin shooting mun gode.
Every day shooting.
Ko da yake security ba su bar su sha ruwa. Suna da zuciyar da Allah ya riga ya ce rai ɗaya ne mutuwa ɗaya ne.
This is the indigenous people of the real Hausas. They are crying because of the killing going on in their land. Look at a mother who lost his son crying.
Soldiers, yeah, you put a soldiers to do. Ama soldiers think they are fake.
The Nigerian soldiers are fake. Do you telling you that Nigerian soldier is fake because they all Boko Haram rehabilitated?
Idanunmu ya gani sun kwashe Fulani gasken kenan ko yau a kashe ni ko iyire gasken kenan ido ya gani sun kwashe Fulani ka a mota a hilos sun tafi da su mun bar ma Allah ko da juma'a ko ba dadewa Allah zai yi mana jamansa.
I'm proving to you that we are not tribalistic people, rather, we are people that fight for every indigenous people. We want to give every indigenous people their rights to be on, because before the amalgamation, everybody is living. Before amalgamation, people are living in their ancestral land. Oh. Before the amalgamation, what happened? People were living, but Britain brought this death that this one is crying for. That is what Britain brought. That is why we said no. That this amalgamation, we don't need it anymore. That is, listen.
This was the first house they set fire.
This is your brother's house?
Yes. This is my elder brother's shops. Those shops are 8. This was the first house they set fire on. After this one, they came to this one. And my uncle was here with his wife, with his son's wife and his children, all of them. And lost people in this house, 11.
11 people
yeah, 11
died in this house.
Those that my family members here.
Wow.
11 persons.
Are you hearing it?
In this place. Guys, they were sleeping in this very bar.
They were sleeping in here?
Yeah, they were sleeping here. This is where the 8 people were killed here. That is my family.
8 were killed that way. And that's your family also?
That's my family.
How many of your family did you lose?
20 members. I lost
20 members
of my family in this very attack.
Wow. And this is your elder brother's house?
Yes, this is my elder brother's house.
Was he killed? Your elder brother?
My elder brother, he doesn't stand here.
Okay.
He said he was not killed. Only my stepmom, with my elder brother's wife, with my sister, they were inside with their children. There was no any security personnel here in this place again. So they began to break doors and set fire. Break doors. There was no any security personnel here in this place again. So they began to break doors and set fire. Break doors and set fire on houses. This was the first house they set fire.
This is your brother's house?
Yes, this is my elder brother's shops. Those shops are 8. This was the first house they set fire on. After this one, they came to this one. And my uncle was here with his wife.
Listen.
With his son's wife and his children, all of them. And lost people in this house, 11.
11 people.
Yeah,
11 people
My family.
burned down by Nigeria Fulani Boko Haram. 11 people was burned down one night. After that house, another one, 8 people. They are 9 in number. Only him that is speaking right here, or is only the person who is alive. 8 was killed by Fulani one day. That a human being lost all these things. That is why we are asking UN, with only this alone, is it not to prove to you that you must invoke the Nigerian territorial integrity and sanction Nigeria? So with only this is not enough for you to sanction that thing called one Nigeria. So it's not enough. A whole family has wiped out. A family of 11, only one person survived. And he survived because of what? He is not living there. That is why he survived. We are calling on international global stage to end this death sentence called Nigeria to every indigenous person and set people free. We, the Biafran people, have stood up and destroyed the amalgamation that bond and give birth to one Nigeria. One Nigeria give birth to death sentence to every indigenous people by killing every indigenous people. That is what one Nigeria means to us. That is why all of us run away from there. And we live in your countries. You see how peaceful we are. You see how we are abiding by your laws. You see how we respect it, because before by the 20th centuries, we have been living in our own, doing this in our own, without interfering to anybody's, until Britain, with their greedy eyes, with their evil mind, with a satanic agenda of to destroy every indigenous people, enter in our land to come and destroy every indigenous people. In the history of the world, the history of Africa, a Yoruba man was the person who built the television. No civilization from Europe, from Asia, from anywhere. He built television in Africa. A Yoruba man. We all are civilized before they bring this their evil agenda to us. We are more civilized. We could have been more. That is why they want to bring us down, because they don't want people that will pass. America don't want people that will challenge them. In challenging them in respecting of human rights. Japan, China doesn't want them, those who will build more than, because we are the Chinas, we are the Japanese, we are the Americans by ourselves. That is what they don't want people that but let me tell America one thing. The attack you are seeing today to wipe indigenous people away is to attack America in the future. Is to attack every country who is a Christian or Judaism. That is the agenda you are seeing. The agenda of Usman Dafodio is to make sure that he wipe every indigenous people and they occupy the land. The movement is going on in Nigeria is movement of just Islamize, able to into Islamic, so they can waste all of us. But we say no. The only way out, the only solution is to divide, to referendum, to give it to every people, every indigenous people. Do you want to be one Nigeria? No, you this way. Atiku was a Cameroon man, but through a referendum, he becomes a Nigeria. Atiku. Atiku was a Cameroon man. Tinubu is not a Yoruba man, real Yoruba man. He inherited Yoruba because of he run from his country to here and stay here for long. That is why he don't care for our benefits. That's why he doesn't care what will benefit the people, because it's not his country. He's only here to make money. And the interest of making money that made Britain amalgamate us is what he's accomplishing today. My people, I want you to know that way out into what we are doing lies in our hand. The way out lies in our hand, whether I like it or not. When you support the government fully, stop lying against the government, stop running propaganda. My own happiness, that's why I don't emphasize on it so much, is that the so-called international community knows that when a new country is being declared, the saboteurs will be everywhere. And they are the one who said that when a people refuse to work under a new country declaration government, that they are rebel, that they are insurgency. That is what is happening to us. Many they put this law, they pass through that. And they also they told that the new government, immediately they get the recognition, they are the one that are going to implement law they will use to treat all the sabos, all the rebel. These are things that we all must to know. These are the things that we don't need to, we cannot live in denial anymore. Rather, we as the Biafran people must stood up, fight for our rights. We are fighting our rights by went to Finland on November 29, 2024, make a declaration of a new country called United States of Biafra as the solution to the every killings of the indigenous people. Biafra is solution to the wiping away of the indigenous people. Biafra is the only solution. We are telling the international, we are speaking to UN. That's why I ask you, this your human rights, is it only for the white people? The human rights. Despite you say that you prefer, that you value territorial integrity. Now, this territorial integrity that are wiping away the indigenous people, does he want to have territorial integrity? Let us give you more video to the international community.
The house of the pastor was also burnt down.
This is not a Biafra man. No.
We bury people.
Every day they bury people.
We are not ordained for funeral services. We are ordained to preach the good news of Jesus Christ.
These are the pastors speaking.
But burial has taken, in fact, the place of that one now.
Okay.
So we want to stand here and condemn this that happened. Every time when it happens, they say unknown gunman. Every time they will say unidentified gunman. Even this one that is very clear, the attack was carried out by the Fulani headsmen. And you will hear them saying now that unknown gunman is not longer unknown. And this thing is not just happening here on the plateau. There is that saying in psychology, when one person has problem with many, it means it is that person that has the problem. They will die down, you pick your man, you move, you die down, you pick your man, you move.
Do you hear it? I hope you heard it clearly from him. I am not the one that's saying it. It's the people that they are killing their people every day is the one saying it right now. So, when we are saying things, we bring you evidence. We will not just come and put something without evidence. This is telling that this is happening in all over. Is happening in all over Not. It happened in Benue State. People are dying every day. They are buying the indigenous people every blessed day, morning, night. The pastor is telling you that they are no longer preaching, rather, they are burying people every day. They are only in funeral research. That's what they are doing. That is the killing of the place going on in Nigeria has turned them today. They are no longer do what's supposed to do. Rather, see it here. Evidence. A mother is crying. We come here with evidence.
Method and attack.
This is another video.
People of ZK, and we are here. We can see places where they burnt a lot of things, both houses.
This is one of yesterday morning.
People's equipment, beds, and even people were burnt as the time of the attack.
The word that you are hearing this and you keep silent.
That's a bit late that day, so all of us.
Look at how mothers are crying because of Nigeria. Because of amalgamation. That is why people are crying like this.
So when we heard about the attack, we tried to reach the security personnel, but unfortunately we're not able to get them as of that time. I think that should be around 12 p.m. in the night. So when we couldn't get across to them, we started to call people who were at the down part of DK to know what were actually going on. But unfortunately, people were on the run, so they weren't able to pick the calls. So we continued to try making calls, and I was able to access one of my uncles who was within the premises that was attacked. So when I was able to access him, he told me that he's in a hiding place. So he wasn't able to talk to me vividly of what was going on, but he told me he was chased by herdsmen to where he was able to escape. So he stayed there at the mountainside until when he saw people coming down from Kimakbawa, and when he saw some security personnel in their hillocks. That was when they came out. So we immediately went down to ZK. That was where the attack was meted on. So on arrival, we realized a lot of dead bodies. Okay. We saw a lot of people from the roadside, from inside their room.
See what you presented to us. EU.
8 dead bodies. Basically,
you won't see it on Arise Television. You will see it on BBC. Because BBC is BBC of lies and deceit. They will not carry it. But really, this is what the indigenous people are passing through in this death sentence.
Coming inside, we saw others, but probably when they were running, they were attacked and slaughtered.
When they were running, there was attack and slaughtered.
A lot of my family members were affected. I lost my cousins, about 6 of them.
Okay.
I lost my brothers, about 5.
That is 11 again.
I lost my uncle's wife, who was killed on her bed.
Okay.
Here in ZK. So these are the number of people I lost. And my uncle was hiding just behind a rock, where the Fulani headsmen came, but they couldn't see him. He said he hid behind the rock. They came, some of them came, and they stood on the rock, and then making some chants such as Allahu Akbar. We have dealt with them. We will be done with them soon. They are powerless. We have the weapons that will enable us to carry out attacks. But
this is not Biafran people saying this, so. EU, after you have come across this video, UN and all the countries in the world So you like, this is what you wish people. If you wish us this, he will wish you back to you. How it may happen to your country, you will not know. Look at it, how people are crying. How people are crying. This is why we say we don't want one Nigeria. That is a death sentence. The indigenous people are dying.
They burnt a lot of things, both houses.
This is what is called death sentence.
People's equipment.
You will be sleeping.
And even people were burnt.
Fulani Boko Haram will come attack you, wipe you away. And you heard them say that the security was nowhere to be found. Look at the body of their own peoples. The people are passing through every day, every blessed day. This is what people are passing through.
So all of a sudden, we received a call informing us that there's an attack in ZK. So when we heard about the attack, we tried to reach the security personnel, but unfortunately, we're not able to get them as of that time. I think that should be around 12 p.m. in the night. So when we couldn't get across to them, we started to call people who were at the down part of ZK to know what were actually going on. But unfortunately, people were on the run, so they weren't able to pick the calls. So we continued to try making calls, and I was able to access one of my uncles who was within the premises that was attacked. So when I was able to access him, he told me that he's in a hiding place. So he wasn't able to talk to me vividly of what was going on, but he told me he was chased by herdsmen to where he was able to escape. So he stayed there at the mountainside until when he saw people coming down from Kimakbawa, and when he saw some security personnel in their hillocks. That was when they came out. So we immediately went down to ZK. That was where the attack was meted on. So on arrival, we realized a lot of dead bodies. We saw a lot of people from the roadside, some inside their rooms. And at some point, we go to a house where we saw 8 dead bodies, basically children on the bed who were stabbed till death. So that was what we saw. And coming inside, we saw others, probably when they were running, they were attacked and slaughtered till they died. A lot of my family members were affected. I lost my cousins, about 6 of them. I lost my brothers, about 5. I mean, about 4. And then I lost my uncle's wife, who was killed on her bed here in ZK. So these are the number of people I lost. And my uncle
only how lost 11 one day.
Behind a rock.
Check others.
Where the Fulani
one of the 6 students who was massacred in the way they're sleeping.
Couldn't see him. He said he hid behind the rock. They came. Some of them came and they stood on the rock, and then making some chants.
You heard this is a story of how a man, when they come, they will shout in Allah Akbar. That is their language. What of the 6 children, the innocent 6 children, the same thing that Britain committed in our land in 1967 to 1970 is what these people are passing through today, and is sponsored by Britain. Because if there is no amalgamation, all these things will not be happening, because everybody stay according to their tribe and be doing their thing. To your tribe, end is the border. No land dispute until Britain comes in. That is why we are calling on all of the international global community to let us go, leave us alone. We, Biafran, will only ask you, recognize us as a full sovereign state. Sign an agreement with us. That is why we have a government, Labour Congozi or Abueze, effective governments that are planning to conduct election on November. The same way we conduct our self-referendum vote is the same way we are going to conduct our votes on on November 4 again. For you, the world, to see the work of the federal government, that we need recognition. We want you to go to this recognition so we can be able to stop the killings and give every indigenous people their power to defend themselves. That is why we are seeking for international recognition. Look at all the sad, look at all the killings every day. People are dying. They want to conquer not by force, so they can be able to conquer Enugu State and Biafra land, but they have met their water low. The center cannot hold. From me, from here, it is good evening, good night, good morning, depend on your time and location. Please, at all time you come across this video, please, whenever you come, please like it. When you view program, nobody knows that we are live, or nobody knows about the program. But whenever you like the program, another person will get a notification from your like and join the process. That's what we ask you to do. Please endeavor to do that. We have more view. If you check the program we did yesterday, now we have hit over 5,000 something K. But like is always slow. Please like the program. Like the program so others will see it and know what we are doing here. We'll see you tomorrow morning as we come and plan it. May all of us have a good night and a very wonderful day ahead of whatever we are going to turn our hand. We shall remain blessed and be life. Thank you so much for being here. From me, from here, it is good night.